Welcome to Grimm's. I'm Grimm. Welcome back, everyone, for this next episode of Grimm's Tavern's Tales of RAVNICA. This is our second chapter that we're getting into now, and it's gotten to the point where some big things are going on. But first, let me reintroduce our cast of characters before we may have to say goodbye to them for good. We
can't say like that.
We have Mark,
Hi.
who is piloting Andavarius. Yeah. And you know what? Why don't I actually show everyone what Andavarius looks like?
So cool.
I'm gonna
I haven't seen him in a while.
click on this guy. Ba-boom! There we go. We have ourselves an Andavarius. And then we have Miss Lisa over there. And Miss Lisa is jumping into the role of Zoralia. And why don't I show you who Zoralia is? Ta-da! Great. That is the closest approximation for what you do not look like that.
That works.
Any similarities to real persons or imagined is purely coincidental.
It's not that far, no.
Then we have Mr. Chris the Illustrious.
I'm illustrious.
Yes, and he is in charge of none other than Baltic Sin Stalker.
Nice.
So we have our cool looking. Yeah, the Battlemaster Minotaur. And, of course, we have Seven, who is jumping into the tiny feet of Tink Tallulah Tinkerton. So why don't I show everyone what that little scamp looks like? Who actually looks really cool.
She is so
nice.
So
She is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Really cool,
Nice.
Especially now that her Mizium rig is like slowly getting better.
It's getting there.
Like
The
it.
stickers are off. So
Yeah.
that's a plus.
Couple of cracks.
She's still got one.
Yeah.
Oh, and before we go, I will remind you to
Subscribe,
subscribe, but also to minimize that token on the OBS.
I have. I've done it each
Oh,
and
you're so
every time. And I'm just now realizing that I didn't have to do it each and every time.
Because it overlaps.
Silly me.
So, yeah.
All right, we're still getting used to this, folks, but it is live, so you must forgive me. And if you do not, that's a little bit harsh of you.
Yeah.
But if you guys like what we're about, why don't you like us by clicking the like button? If you feel like you would subscribe to this content, like every time it popped up, click on the subscribe button. It's all fairly self-evident, so why don't we do it? All right. Let's get into a little bit of a recap, shall we? Do any of you guys want to pick up where we left off? I know that some
I
of
think
us...
you would do it the most justice.
I feel like I remember just enough to know it's going to be bad.
Yeah, that's not a bad
It
feeling.
would be terrible.
I thought we were making good progress, on
No,
our
it's
way
good,
to
good
hunt
progress.
down Mr. Hugh,
Good as
the
bad.
riot mage that
Yeah.
we've been chasing through the Rakdos territory.
Exactly. You guys have found out the identity of the formerly mysterious riot mage who is bringing all of these cultists to him from his base in the Jester's Court, which is just outside of Rixmati, the dungeon palace, which sits at the bottom of the demon's throat, which leads into the Carnarian that is the Gore House, in the smelting ward outside of the Mitts. Yeah, so there's a whole thing. You guys have fought a lot of people to get to this spot, and this is the last leg that you have to get through before you can actually pin this guy down. If you were to fight him before now, he probably could have survived long enough to just up and vanish and flee and run away. Or, what's more likely is if you guys tried to kill someone like him, a pillar of the Rakdos Guild, in his home turf, odds are casual people on the street would probably just tear you apart.
Yeah.
So you guys have fought all of this way to get
get
access to him and get to a meeting where he is trying to convince these other big players within the guild to actually pool their forces with his so that he can start a Havoc festival and drown your community in blood. He is negotiating, and you guys are trying to find a way to force his hand into putting him in a sticky situation. Zoralia, you kind of are partners with him in this endeavor. Because you've been learning from the good old Dad. You've been under his wing.
He's taken me in. We're so close now.
Yeah,
So
He's
nice.
not taking him.
he's got some harsh lessons to teach. But yes, ultimately, you told him about some kind of plan where you would kind of rope him in, and then he could try to rope in the business partners to force their hand. Because little would they know that the odds are actually stacked in your favor. You guys went into the blood crypt itself, you are sitting at the bottom of this 30-foot tall pit. The walls are lined with meat hooks, like spikes lining the interior of all these manacles and binds. There's razor wire everywhere. There are torturous implements strewn about the pit. You can see that the chains dangle from the ceilings, barbed the whole way round, kind of holding skulls that hold these like flickering soul flames. And it's not the crackling of flame that you can hear, but rather the... It's not an actual fire, it's just tortured souls, their essence trapped to provide a little bit of mood lighting. From even the bottom of the pit, you guys can see that there are undead nailed onto the walls who are holding little things going, pointing people to their seats as they sit down. Oh, look, there they are. Well, yeah. Pride of place among all the people who are filing in to watch the show are the 4 main players that you guys have been dealing with. We have none other than Hewitt himself.
Dashing.
It looks so emotional.
We have Hewitt himself, who has managed to drag Jury of the Review into the audience to speak to him. He's also managed to convince Judith the Scourge Diva to hear his proposal. And, of course, anything that is done through here, especially since he actually had to perform in the Carnarium up in the Gorehouse, would be Nyasser, the Viashino who actually owns the premises. We left off with Hewitt looking down at you, beckoning. Set the trap. Lure them in.
All right.
There is silence in the arena as the audience just... This is not a bawdy Carnarium crowd. This isn't a bunch of drunken oafs. These people are not partaking of drugs. They are not drinking themselves into a stupor. They want to be sober and witness it and remember what happens here clearly.
No pressure.
You have a very rapt crowd.
All right. So Zorelia will strut out into the center, and she will slowly start taking out her whip. And as she does this, she will say, "Listen up, Rakdosians. You keep throwing these measly little challenges at us. Those fools in the other arenas never stood a chance. Stop the tomfoolery and let us give you..." She's gonna take her whip and like lash it on her back and go, "Ah, a real show."
And when you do that whip, for you it was meant to be light, but it actually drags across the claw marks that your father put there moments earlier. So you cry out, and it's a good thing you masked it, because it actually hurts a hell of a lot.
Mm-hmm. "We want you." She points at you.
And Hugh goes, "Who? Me?
"Yes, you."
Why? Whatever role can I play? What do you want?
"We want a wager with you.
You want a wager with me?
To keep things interesting, yes."
I think things are plenty interesting, don't you? How would you up the ante, possibly? What offer do you have? What stakes
Yeah.
could you pin on me?
"Well, if we win this, you and your compatriots have to join us in the midst. If we lose, we'll join you in your dated, boring old guild."
All right. So, you are trying to convince me to take on this little bet by walking into a blood crypt with the doors closed? Then again, I suppose you have made it this far, so maybe you can handle a couple creatures tossed your way. All right. I'm listening. I'm not going to dismiss you out of hand. Let's see. You, if you win, get all of this on your side? I think not. Maybe maybe will not harm the mitts, I'll settle for that. And if I win, you join me and my attack. Well, I would look a downright bore if I didn't accept it. How about my counteroffer? If you win, you don't get all of this. I'm working for all of this, and the price is steep, little girl. So, if you win, we don't go and destroy everything. And if I win, you help us do exactly what you're trying to stop. Accepted?
That's a deal,
Great.
Daddy-o.
Save the formalities for if you survive and don't embarrass us both. One moment, kiddies. And he just kind of crosses his legs and looks over. He puts his, elbow on the stands and he just looks over to the bunch of them. He's like, all right, let's get this straight. So, I have been a good sport, and I've heard them out. Now, they are feisty little buggers, so the crowd did cheer them on. You guys were there. I was talking to you earlier upstairs in the Carnarium. They've been seen, and they've been seen to have won with a certain amount of style at that. So, we cannot dismiss them out of hand unless we want to discredit ourselves, can we? And he looks over at Judith and Jury. Nyas are just...
I don't much care for this. I make money the one way or the other.
All right. If money is what you want. How about this? We were negotiating on the fee. Your involvement on my side of things was all but secured. We simply hadn't agreed on the amount. So, rather than going up or going down, how about this? You join in on my side of this wager. We'll up it even further. If I beat them and they join me, you're in too. And you know what? If you want some of the credit for taking down the mitts, then I'll pay you 75% of what we were talking about. If you want to add your troop to mine, well then we'll go for 100%. I'll actually pay you all of what we were talking about, but you will be locked into joining. And if I lose, well then, how about this? I'll pay you the entire fee anyway, and you won't have to lift a finger. And he does this stage whisper, and as he does it, you can see while his one hand is resting under his chin, his other is doing the somatic components for a spell, and it kind of does this almost stage booming where he's talking very casually, but everyone can hear him clearly, even you guys down in the pit. And Judith is just pissed that he's kind of pulled her into it to the whole crowd, and the whole crowd just, ooh. And they're all kind of starting to whisper amongst each other, and they're counting coins out, and you can see some people going, pointing at the bunch of them sitting there. They're starting to draw up wagers of their own based on this. You go, well, and Jury goes, well, when you put it like that, my gosh, you've risked a whole lot. You've staked your reputation on it. Well done, you've staked ours on it too. You know what? How about this? I'm in. I'm sure. You know what? Why not? Let's have a bit of fun with it. You win, you get my troops, I get the full amount. I don't need to be tied into any of this. I'm famous as it is. I get my 100% cut, you get my cultists. Judith kind of looks over and goes, yeah, and she's staring pure poison, just daggers at him and goes, what kind of Rakdosian would I be if I didn't indulge in a little bit of high-stakes sinning? And she's just clearly
not happy.
This was a business deal, you asshole.
Yeah.
So she chips in and Yasser goes,
There's money to be made. Easy money. Guaranteed money. Yasser is in.
just shakes his little lizard gizzard as he moves his head in excitement, and he goes, all right, it's settled. You hear that down there, little ones? I've taken you up on your deal. The stakes are a little bit higher, though, than you may have anticipated. If you fail, not only does my plan go through, but they're all locked in as well. Now that you're aware of the stakes, I think you will truly be able to appreciate the fact that you walked into a blood sport arena in order to get this done. So, what will we hit him? What are we gonna hit them with? We'll do a 1-2 punch. I haven't seen a dread slag after a mine's been prepped for by a sire. 1-2 punch. We'll give them a run for it. If they die here, I mean, the deal's fulfilled. And Nyasser's like, expensive. Not my money. 1-2 punch. 1-2 punch. Just the rest of them kind of shake and go. If they lose, so there's a little bit of hack, but they don't want to. As soon as Judith goes like, "Hey, if they lose, I'm caught into this thing. I don't want to hit them with 2 crazy monsters back to back." As soon as she goes to kind of resist, the crowd, having heard his proposal of giving a rare show with 2 big beasties that very rarely get combined on one audience, they're like, "Oh!" And immediately there's a whole bunch of excitement. She goes. She's just so exasperated. Why not? It'll be fun and exciting. Great. All right. Let it out. So they kind of sit back and he just crosses his feet and looks down, looks to you and he goes, good luck.
So what does that mean? We win
So-
here and they join our cause?
So question, Calvin.
Yeah.
They won't hurt
This
us.
is a preliminary fight followed by arrest and then her father? Or is this basic? Because this is going to determine a lot of how I fight this battle.
Okay. When you're seeing that and he goes, let's begin, and the bunch of the crowd starts to they've got this hubbub going and they're starting to build up, you can see that the smile vanishes off of Hewitt's face as Judith kind of leans over Jury, gives him a jab in the freaking collarbone, goes, hey, this is one back to back. There's no she looks kind of aggravated about the situation. There's no way that the duel with Hewitt is going to immediately follow this up.
Okay, cool.
She actually doesn't want you guys necessarily to
die.
lose.
Yeah.
So she's actually kind of negotiating. Goes, all right. Fine. Just kind of. So you can kind of interpret that the other 3 are actually arguing on your guys' behalf. Let them rest up a little bit first, and then we'll see what goes on.
So he has the pressure of his not equals as far as he's concerned, but people in his company anyways
yeah,
should
it
kind
is.
of be fair about it, or what he accomplishes wouldn't really be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While he had the attention of the crowd, he could kind of push them into accepting a deal that they might not have liked.
Yeah.
But once the crowd gets involved in its own excitement and murmuring, they're quickly going to be like, hey, I know that if they lose, you get what you want, but that's not how this really works. So they're going to try to claw back on the deal that they just made publicly as much as they can in private.
Okay, but nothing's set in stone as far as when he fights us. Okay. No answer is exactly what I thought, so that's okay.
All right. So, you guys are in the pit, and after he says the 1-2 punch, bring them in. Then you can start to hear that there are all kinds of things through the portcullis in the entranceway. There's only one entrance and exit into this pit, and you can start to hear people. Get the sire! Sire first! He's gonna brainwipe! Make him right for the drag slag!
Yeah,
I'm
once
gonna
they say that, I am going to go behind Andy.
No, seriously, this is a very dangerous situation again. Please,
Yep.
stay behind me.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I am behind you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. I just scurried over and
That's
it's
excellent. And I'll slam my big mushroom stalk onto the ground. It'll crystallize. The top will pop up. I'll catch that out of the air. Use that as a shield. And pop out a big cloud of symbiotic mushroom spores.
Nice.
Like a hurricane around me.
As you do this,
All right. Let's do this.
I was just gonna say, as you kind of enchant it, pop it off, grab it in the air, and bleed off your spores in preparation while the Wranglers are getting the Sire of Insanity's cage into position up against the bars. You see it like being wheeled into that kind of passageway. People look down at you and they're like, ooh. Some people are about to hand over money and the guy's like, whoa. Changes the amount of coinage. Apparently the odds have shifted because you look cool and then you go, okay then. Alright, puts a coin back on. He's like, alright, fine, he's not that cool.
Bring it on!
Yeah, exactly.
You
So
have a
you're
little
like
voice break.
altering the betting odds, like every action that you do. Anybody else want to prep? You have some
Yes.
time while the beast is getting brought in. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna say, just everyone, okay? Keep your wits about you, all of you, and I'm gonna give each one of them a wink for bardic inspiration.
Oh.
Is that a D4?
Wow.
Each of us?
Yes.
Because Zoralia is amazing.
Nice. And that can
Keep
be
your wits
applied-
about you.
Nice.
It's a good thing to wish.
For an ability check, an attack roll, or a saving throw.
Good. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You each get a D8 too.
All right.
Awesome. Lisa, anything else that Zoralia wants to do while you're waiting in the pit?
Well, sorry, what I would do is maybe head off and slowly walk towards the gate so I'm in front of everyone else, basically.
Okay, so you're going to get to the front side
Right.
of that kind of rack, that table that's in the center
Yeah.
of the arena,
Stand in
and you're
front
going
of
to
the
stand
table
in the
there.
front.
I think I'm just going to look up at Hugh. He can probably read lips well enough, I would imagine, being this old.
Maybe right now.
I'm just going to look up at him and I'm just going to mouth or kind of say, I guess, about how it's disappointing that he has to soften us up first, but at least he's around company that understands his, shortcomings. And that's it. I'll just kind of get my hands ready, stance down, just kind of get ready for whatever's coming.
Yeah, you start to say that, and you go, and just halfway through before you can really finish off, you just, oh yeah, and he starts chatting back with Jury. But do you guys have anything that you'd like to prep for? You guys have.
Do we have like 2 actions or just one?
Yeah, it's taking them quite a
I'm-
while to wheel this
I'm
creature
gonna
in.
do Mage Armor myself, and then this big contraption in the middle.
Yep.
Is it not bolted to the floor? Like, can I? And is it under 500 pounds? I'm gonna cast
It is
Levitate
not
to
under
it.
500 pounds, but it is not bolted to the floor.
Is there any parts of it that can come off that are like heavy and like up to?
No, it is it is a complete contraption. So it's
Okay.
got like these gears that you can turn when someone is strapped to it
Okay.
on the table.
What
It's like
about
a
his
heavy-
chains in the corner behind Zoralia?
The chains in the corner behind Zoralia. Yeah, so there's a whole
I'm gonna.
bunch of like
Cool.
loose dangling
So I'm going
wires and
to.
things.
I'm gonna cast Levitate on them,
Okay.
and then I want to suspend them in the air above the entrance, so that once the creature comes in, to drop the chains in a way that like kind of falls over the creature, just to try and like push it down.
Ensnare
And
it?
leave
Weighted,
like,
tangled.
yeah, and
kind
it's
of-
like a tangled up, like
Nice.
that sort of thing.
Awesome.
Because
That's smart
Tin
thinking.
can't do it herself, but she can cast Levitate.
Nice.
So-
Okay.
And where are they coming in from, or do we know?
They are coming in from the
They-
north.
From the north.
entrance.
The
It's 10
large. I
feet
see.
wide,
I see.
yeah.
In that case, I'm going to ready an action if we have a couple actions worth. Can I do that or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's what I was hoping for. So I'm going to.
You guys are pretty much stuck in this pit while people are betting on whether you're gonna live or die, and people are prepping this monster just on the other side of that gate, and you're just standing
what?
there waiting for when it comes out. You're just stuck in here, and it's the tension just builds and builds and builds.
If I kind of get by that chair and kind of brace myself behind it a little bit, will that count as cover? The back of that chair, is it high enough?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
some
you're a big
kinda
guy,
cover,
but
yeah.
it would be half cover.
okay, cool.
If you were like using it as some kind of
Cool. In that case, I'm going to get my javelin ready and kind of duck down a little bit, brace myself, and I'm going to ready an action so that when something comes within javelin range, was it 10 feet, I believe, to stab with that thing, or is it 5? Anyways, when something comes within range, I'm going to attack with it.
All right, awesome.
All right, and then I've got time. I'll do one more thing.
Yeah, you've got a bunch of time.
Seeing this big
5
hulking
feet,
figure approaching the gate, I'm going to reach into my satchel, one of the deep pockets in there, bring out these 8, almost like dog-looking mushroom things, just little spores. Like, all right, I know you're hungry. It's time to eat. And I will throw these 8 moss dog
Okay.
spores on the ground for them to grow quickly into moss dogs.
All right. So, what spell are you casting? I think you
Conjure animals.
That's right. You told me that you had a conjurer's animal that you had picked up. I came prepared with tokens. All right. I am going to drop in a veritable army, and I believe you have control over all of them, sir.
That's awesome.
If I got 30 feet for this javelin, I think I'm just going to stand behind this table if I can get the same equivalent for cover.
Yes, you can.
There's a lot of bugs. Or whatever they are.
Throw out the mushroom. All of these moss
them in there
dogs start to...
quick.
Because of she'll probably like talk to Annie about those chain things. She would just say to like not have your moss dogs right underneath where the chains are going to be dropped onto.
Yeah, I see them there, and that's why I kind of place them.
Cool.
Yeah,
around
Nice.
there.
Perfect.
Awesome.
How do I activate this key rune? How does that work?
You guys are just like, ambush!
Oh yeah.
So all you have to do is kind of put like a psychic command into the key rune in order for it to kind of cause this red mist to bleed out, and then a demon comes out. So you want to activate the key rune?
Yes.
All right.
A little initiative for those. Actually, we're not rolling initiative.
That's right. And bloop, out comes a creature. So this is what the little moss wolf looks like.
Oh, you're so adorable.
Yeah, there's this weird moment where you throw the mushrooms onto the sandy kind of floor, and they just they extend these roots out magically quickly and start sucking up some of the blood that's like dripped and scabbed over into the ground itself, and so they all have like this red tinge to the moss and growth that's coming off of them.
Yes. We use them to clean the entrance usually.
And you've got your Rakdos key rune, which now is like this spined kind of devil creature that kind of appears. At first, it's just a kind of red, misty highlight of blood mist after someone gets smashed in the face with a maul, that kind of spray, and then it coalesces and it congeals and then clots into a physical creature. You now have some cackling devil creature in the pit with you. It is under your control, and you can speak to it telepathically.
Nice.
Nice.
Pulling out all the stubs.
Oh yeah.
Freedom. Freedom.
It's just like you can hear him in your
Yeah, that
head.
thing's on our side, right?
I think so.
As you guys do this, Hewitt goes stop and looks over. You go, if I were to wish it, I could wait, but we have a crowd, and I want to see you at your best. So let's see what you've got. Everybody ready? He just kind of sits there, kind of puts his fingers in front, looks down at the bunch of you, sees this like army that you've arrayed. There's this like mesh trap. The bets are completely changed. A guy who made a bet a second ago on Antivarius being like, all right, 3-1, 2-1, 3-1 is now after an army is spawned. He's like, oh, and the other guy's like, hey, you idiot! Look, there's an army down there.
And he's just petting one of the moss dogs in front of him.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna look real
We're not
quick to
scared.
Zoralia, and I'm gonna shield part of my mouth because I was just talking to Hewitt through lip speaking or through lip reading. So I'm just gonna kind of give it one of these and just kind of look towards him and be like,
Hey, maybe we shouldn't, give it 100% if we don't need 100%. Not to hold anything back, but, well, if they're gauging how strong we are, it might be a good idea to only use what we need.
That is very wise.
Also, I just leveled up, so I don't know if they know how good I am yet, so...
You've been training hard.
I bet you're
so
amazing.
hard. Pretty amazing.
cool.
yeah, all right. So you guys are wondering just how hard you should commit here, and the creature, this fat, red, and yellow-bellied toad-like creature with these almost obsidian-like antlers, is sitting there in its cage. The thing is slid back over the top, and it just... its eyes kind of peer up, golden piercing yellow at you, and as it looks at you, and the cage is lifted from it, you can see that the portcullis in front of you isn't just iron grating. The magic around it starts to crackle and flare as its aura contacts it, but can go no further, and it just kind of grins through its beak-like face, these needle teeth. A hand on the portcullis, and then the thing... Let's get it on! As he just kind of claps, and the rest of them, they start cheering, and the portcullis opens up.
I have a thought.
Yes.
Can that portcullis be activated from either side to close it? I know opening's obviously a different story.
No.
Okay.
They control when it opens and closes. That would be a bit of an oversight to let the
people
trapped be able to open it.
Oh no, close it I meant.
Yeah.
Hank, get ready to drop those chains.
Everybody,
he's coming.
Roll initiative.
For me,
all of your dogs will just follow you in initiative.
No, they have their own initiative.
Good.
Oh, what if you want to play it that way?
I was going to say it's probably cleaner.
Okay.
Instead of rolling 15 initiatives.
I won't argue.
I would agree with that.
Yeah?
Yes.
No, it'd be just one roll for all of them.
Okay. Okay.
Are we doing group initiative or singular?
This is going to be singular initiative.
Okay. Want me to roll for
I got a 10.
all of the dogs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's up to you. I'll let you decide.
I rolled.
Okay.
Nice. I got 15.
Okay. You got 15. Baltic,
10.
what did you got?
10.
Okay. So, Tink at 15. Baltic at 10. Zoralia, what did you get?
16.
16 for Zoralia.
Nice.
I am not ready.
Zora is at 16.
My mustangs are still growing.
And what did you roll for initiative?
I got a 12. The dogs got a 4.
Okay.
Seems appropriate.
Yeah, the Mogs.
And at 12. And then...
The DOS mods?
Yeah.
Dogs.
I also realised that my levitate thing, once I end it, it floats down gently. Is that going to be like completely useless then, or?
Well, no, it is still a net
of
barbed wire.
Cool.
So even if it runs violently into a gently descending mesh,
Nice. That's okay. Cool.
it'll still do some stuff.
Perfect.
All right. Now,
Especially because the moss dog's like holding it in that 10
We'll see.
feet area, hopefully.
unfortunately, Zoralia, you got the highest at 16, and it rolled 15. So, we have the sire who is leading things off. And so, the portcullis opens up. Anybody who had readied actions triggers them. Who had a readied action?
Spell.
Awesome. First,
Alright.
I'm going to need you to do an intelligence saving throw.
Score. Plus. He's not that smart.
DC is 15.
Okay. I'm gonna use that inspiration.
Yeah.
Because that's not very...
Okay,
Oh, 8!
handy,
Okay,
quick.
good.
Oh,
Nice.
God.
So 19.
19. All right.
Didn't want to use that.
That portcullis starts to open. You see the kind of like the grinding as rust and flakes kind of come off of the sides of it as it starts to rise up. For a split second, you're about to throw, and then you blink, and it's still closed. And you don't throw the javelin, and quiet as a mouse, the creature just slides the door open on extremely well-greased axles, as if not to make an audible sound that you can track. For a second, you almost threw your javelin at the force field and realized that you were hallucinating. But you passed it. You are able to time your javelin to throw it when it's actually able to be hit by the attack. And just so everyone knows what's going on, this is what has entered the arena. This is a sire of insanity.
So cute.
He's got a doll.
He's holding Tink.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh no.
I'm gonna get this guy off the screen now.
That is a sire of insanity. It makes the people around it lose their minds, which, coincidentally, is one of the first things that has to happen to you before you join the cult of Rakdos. Right?
Okay.
You time your attack well enough, you see through the hallucination, boom! Go ahead and do your attack.
No.
Alright.
Wait, does this count as an attack
This is
or
an
an
attack
action?
roll.
One attack, okay. I got
Yeah, because a readied action, I believe if you ready an attack actually, if you
Is
ready
it
an
an
attack
action or is it
I'm not
an
sure if
attack?
you get 2 or if you only get 1.
I get 2 attacks per
I would say,
action. Is it
yeah,
a ready
I would
action
say
or
it'd
ready
be
to
the 2
attack?
attacks.
All right, you
Yeah,
get
your
2.
attack.
However, because it is a javelin, which is a thrown weapon,
Mm-hmm.
it does actually take like a free action to draw it out. Oh, but you've got a free action.
Yeah.
So first one goes out, draw, boom, second one. So you just rapid fire,
Nice.
one after the other. First one,
20-something?
yes.
Okay.
Right. The first one sticks into the meat of its arm, and then you can see that it just kind of like quivers and it almost like blinks, and the javelin is outside of it, and it clatters to the ground. The
Well,
second one, however, hits and actually lands. Go ahead, do your damage.
So that's gonna be. So it's 16 damage, and it's got to do a. What is it? A Wisdom save of 16, which I assume it probably is pretty good at.
Yeah. Okay, so 16 damage. And
Maneuver or something?
let's see. Okay, it got a 7. Wait, yeah, you said 16.
16.
So 17 is fine. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So it's a 17, so it does not get
It's not
whatever that
frightened.
effect.
It was going to be frightened.
Okay, gotcha. So you hit it with the javelin, sticks in there, it actually lands and doesn't disappear, and it kind of stares at you and just
I'm going to stare at it.
snaps it off, just bats it with the steel head of the javelin still embedded in its flesh. Okay, that was one readied action. Did anyone else have anything readied?
Just for my thing to
You.
stop as soon as
It
yeah.
starts to yeah, it's right.
When
you
it's
have a
under
readied
it.
action.
When it's
You have to
under
do an
it.
intelligence-based saving throw to see if you even time it right.
Oh, okay.
Because it has to be under it, and it's
Yeah.
a mind trigger, so.
Yes!
18 plus, and then my intelligence is okay, so.
18. You
I-
also, for a split second, see it like starting to lift up, and you go, okay, and you are about to let the levitation drop, and then after a little bit of a shake, there's some kind of zap from your Mizium rig. Your mind clears, and you can see it too, just like sliding the thing over, and then you release it at the proper time.
Yeah.
Awesome. The mesh starts to drop down before this creature can even start to pull itself out of the entrance of the area. It's dropping down on top of it.
Yeah.
Great. Did any of you guys have a ready action? Nope.
So it
Awesome.
starts off with Lisa.
So, it does not start off
it does
with
not.
Lisa.
Oh.
The
Sorry,
sire is the thing that
sorry.
goes
Yeah.
first. It is going to roll to, well, yeah, it's going to roll to see if it can perceive the wire mesh that is a giant bundle of barbed wire falling out of the sky.
Would it get disadvantaged because there's barbed wire everywhere?
I think it would kind of have an idea if it's like,
Fun.
hey.
But it might love it.
It does actually love it. You can see that it kind of slaps it off on the one side, looks forward, sees this kind of trap like descending into the way, and it goes and puts its fingers into the midst of it, and you can see that as it does, it just throws the barbed wire mesh across onto the dogs that are in front of it. So it's going to wrap up 2 of them in the barbed mesh, unless they can do a dexterity saving throw to actually avoid what's going on. However, now that it has entered the arena proper, everybody has to do that intelligence saving throw. You've already passed for the turn. I'm going to need one from you, and one from your dogs. So Zoralia, Indo,
me.
and the dogs.
Actually, I'll just do the dogs first.
And
One
your
roll.
demon.
Oh yeah, the demon guy.
And it's a saving throw?
Yeah,
for
it is
that?
a saving
Cool.
throw.
Yeah, so I got, like,
Dogs
21.
rolled a 10 minus 4, so 6.
Woof! They do not know what the hell is going on.
They don't even have eyes, I don't think so.
One of them is stopped and rolled over. Another one, in the strangest thing you've ever seen with a mushroom cap for a tongue, is panting when it has no sweat glands. It's like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah, just like they have keen hearing and smell. So if that helps at all,
To see through
yeah,
an
they're not
illusion?
mostly a
'cause they don't have
vision-based
sight.
thing.
So how would the hallucinations work?
You know what? I think that would add up.
Just an
I
advantage
think,
on that, maybe.
yeah, I would think that would make
Okay.
sense.
Nice.
They're able to smell when it comes close.
That was a 0. So
But
So far, so
you didn't
good.
get the 0. Anyway,
it's everywhere.
your moss dogs made of mushrooms, you're like, did I pick the wrong mushrooms to make these things out of? As they're just like, they're like tumbling on themselves, falling over. What did you roll, Zoralia, for the same
the moss
Aurelia
sheep.
got 15, and the the devil thing got 11.
Okay. Awesome.
I got a
So
9.
You got a 9. Unfortunately, Andavarius and the dogs have no damn idea what's going on. They think that it's opened up before it has. Their timing is off. A bunch of the dogs are like stumbling over themselves. You see through it and you hear the devil in your head going,
I taste blue.
just, what?
Oh, you're a detective.
Oh boy.
I'll do that dex save for the dogs now.
Yep, dex save for the dogs.
Can I lend?
Natural 1.
Oh god.
Okie doke. Alright. So, with a dex save from the dogs being a natural 1, as this thing kind of throws this barbed wire mesh onto the two of them, the nature of their hallucination seems to change before your eyes. And for some reason, one of them starts like stop, drop, and roll, or doing like a roll over,
They think they're, like, on
and
fire
it just
or something,
keeps going. Its little wooden mushroom root limbs just keep turning it until it shreds itself. And it's just like
grinder.
Yeah, splitting into a dozen different parts as it shreds itself to pieces, and the other one is just covered in this cloak. When it comes to its turn, it can't make a noise, but it looks like it's fidgeting away, and it looks like it's going to bolt in your guys' direction with this like cloak of barbed wire dragging behind it.
Nice.
All right, so one of the doggies has actually gone down.
Ooh.
This one
So
right here.
the barbed wire isn't like caught onto the side of Insanity's hand or anything. It's like just on the dogs.
No. Though I will do a sleight of hand to see if he receives any damage for interacting with it. He got 4, so he
Oh,
is actually going
good.
to take a d4 if you want to roll the damage.
Good. That's good enough. 1.
Okay, he takes 1 point of damage. Boom. Awesome.
It's something.
So that was him kind of grabbing the net, throwing it onto the dogs, and he... this pudgy creature, its stumped little legs with these 3 like gross nails on it, its pot belly, boom, thumps into the arena. It does its first action, and you can see that as the one dog shreds itself apart and the other one starts to run out, it just does this grin, and there's a little bit of barbed wire in its fingers, and it just wraps it around its fingers and chews down between its teeth. One of them like kind of pops out. It is invoking the power of the Rakdos, nihilistic glee. All ends in obliteration, love and hatred, life and death, and light in empty darkness. This thing is just like loving what it's doing.
Insane.
Yeah, so what it is going to do is it is going to effectively, while it is done its action, it is going to discard a card, which is going to be the equivalent of a bonus action, in order to make someone lose life and it gain life. And who was the one who threw the javelin and isn't affected by the hallucinations?
Parkour.
You need to do a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. I got this.
DC on this is only 12.
Good.
My dice went.
Good. Oh,
Found it, Emma.
Stuff.
This guy is gonna get bonkers.
Nice.
17?
We'll be fine.
Yes, with a 17, it tries to suck the life out of you to bring itself back. You resist, and it goes...
As soon as I can tell what it's doing, I feel I'm just gonna go.
As you do that, it lets go of the barbed wire on the one side, pulls it through, and just rips through bits of tongue on the end of it, as it's got this like whipcord of barbed wire in its other hand, because it's going to do the other part of nihilistic glee now. This thing is utterly insane, which means it is hell-bent, especially after it discarded its card, which was its action. It has used its movement, it has used its action, its bonus action, it has nothing left. It activates hellbent. What's up?
Point of order.
Yes.
As it entered my 10-foot range, the spores would immediately just seek him out and
Even though
try
you're
to
hallucinating.
impale inside him.
Yeah, because
Nice.
But that'll be a
This
con
is-
save.
That is going to be really helpful. Natural 1.
Nice for us.
As this thing walks in and it has the spores there, it's kind of taking in the sensations of pain. It just sniffs in the spores like a bouquet of flowers, and you have
I'm
no...
facing the other way, and these things are just... Oh!
In your mind's eye, it looks like a little girl has been skipping through a meadow, picks up a flower and goes,
Oh, it's nice.
and sniffs deep of it before she goes, "Achoo!" This thing
6, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 necrotic damage.
Woo! 16 necrotic damage.
With
Nice.
the crit. Yeah, actually, yeah. You rolled a natural one for that. I don't know if you crit those or...
I'm going to count it that way.
Okay.
I think it's kind of cool.
It is kind of cool
Yeah.
when it's on our side.
Yeah, so it breathes in.
Don't you use that.
Oh, I'm good. But as it breathes in, you can see it, and it sneezes and spits, and this black Icarus blood just sprays onto the arena sand. It looks at you just, lovely little girl. And it is going to hellbent. It's going to pay a little bit of life to draw a card, which is effectively, it's going to trade that bonus action back for an action.
Nice.
So, it is going to lose.
I have a question. Just
Yep.
observing this thing, does it look like it's interested in those that are actually able to hurt it and withstand it? Like, does it seem to have an interest in those that actually seem like a challenge? It seems to like pain. I'm not sure if that's part of its...
This thing delights in any kind of extreme feeling. That's what it's designed for. So
Ah.
if you cause pain to it, that does excite it.
If-
but you can
I'm-
tell it
if-
has eyes for you.
If I made an intimidation to... Because it likes pain, I figured this would be the equivalent, right, of like, come get some kind of thing, like the bee and the flower kind of deal. Do you think I could make it focus on me?
You know right now it's focused on you already because you're one of the people who is not hallucinating.
Could I make it come towards me, do you think? I'm just trying to provoke the opportunity attacks if I can get in its... Not in its head,
Instead
but...
of Andy.
Yeah.
If I
right
could be a
now-
sweet treat, I don't know.
In order for it to trigger the Hellbent of Nihilistic Glee, it had to have finished its movement action.
Ah, okay.
In order for it to use this thing, this
But on the
ability,
next turn I can...
Yes.
Okay. We'll see what I can do.
All right, so it's there. It breathes in, spits out the ichor, draws deep. It suffers a little bit more life as it... And actually, like, licks a bit of these spit out spores back into itself and just... Boom! Boom! Takes 2 attacks on the dogs. The dogs are incapacitated. They are paralyzed.
Which dogs?
The dogs that have failed their test and are hallucinating. So
right.
2 of the
All of the
dogs that are
dogs.
near it, they are paralyzed, so it does have advantage on the attack rolls against them. Okay, good thing. So it goes from the 16 plus 5, that's a 21, and then the next attack on the other one, that is a 8 plus 5, that is 13. Does that hit a dog?
1 second. There you
Ooh, a dog. I thought you were talking about Andy. I was like, probably
one
not.
of the
His
spore
AC, their
wolves?
AC is 13.
Okay, it does hit. So this guy...
The Mogs.
is going to hit with its meaty fist. Ooh! Okay. 23 damage to one.
Dead.
Okay. And to the other. Okay. That's 15 damage to the other.
Dead.
Okay. Boom! Boom! Slams down, and as it like crushes, it's like tasting everything that's in here. 2 of them get mushed. It did not mush the one covered in barbed wire. So that one gone.
I have a mechanic or rule question, I guess.
Gone.
If something leaves another thing's area and provokes an opportunity attack, is that only when it leaves willingly?
Correct.
Ah, so if it falls backwards, gets
you
tripped,
push
if it gets
it.
pushed
Yeah.
out of the way,
If you have
there's
an
no
effect that
opportunity.
pushes it back 10 feet, doesn't count.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, that is the Sire of Insanity. It has come in, it has affected some people, it has thrown the barbed wire, it's mashed a couple dogs. Zoralia, you're up. You are not affected by the creature's aura. You can actually see it doing exactly what it's doing.
Okay, I'm
What's
gonna talk to my key room.
All right.
Are you alright?
I love pig belly. There are nipples, fat, flavor.
But it really doesn't tell me anything. Can you attack?
You get the feeling that this thing can attack. If you say, rip into that pig belly, it'll do it. You get the distinct feeling by it looking all around it that it has no idea what the hell the pig belly is. It could just as easily start tearing into one of your friends as the enemy.
How big is the room?
Give a direction.
The room is 30 by 30.
Oh, sorry, the ruin. The key rune.
The key rune is something like dagger size that she can hold in her hand. The creature takes up a 5 by 5 area. It is a small creature.
Ah, I see.
It's about
So if you could throw it at the thing and have it
3.5 feet
attack the
high.
first thing it makes contact with.
So
You see that big monster? That's the real crazy one back there.
I see a bull with banana horns.
Don't think that's the one.
Stop talking about me.
Zoralia, real quick, as you've used up your free action worth of communicating to your imp, you can give it a quick command if you want, but you still have your own actions. What do you want to do with
I'm
your
like
stuff?
honestly really unsure whether it's talking about Baltic or the monster.
No.
You chuck it?
Oh yeah, the bull with banana horns.
Yeah. Both.
Okay.
Throw it at the thing.
I will.
You could point.
I guess.
That one.
No. Yes, I will point. Go get that one.
All right.
Get its belly.
You point,
Get its belly.
get its belly. So its turn is going to immediately follow your turn. You've used your free action to effectively give it a command. Great,
Okay.
it understands your command. You still have your movement, action, bonus, all that good stuff.
Okay, I'm going to stand beside Baltic,
All right.
and then I'm going to hold my action to cast a spell.
Awesome. You have to mention what spell you are holding.
Command.
Okay, cool. You're holding the spell command. What's the trigger?
When the Sire of Insanity, if it gets on that
On the table?
on the table, yes. So I'm
All
On
right.
the table or near the table?
on it. I guess.
I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna willingly climb on it. Whatever.
You can just say, if it comes closer. It can be that
Okay.
vague.
Okay.
Awesome. So if it moves further into the room, you will cast your command spell. Great. Awesome. At which point, the devil goes. You have pointed at it. You're like, that's pretty straightforward. To me, that makes sense. It's there, point in that direction. I'm going to need
I
you.
said the big thing.
I know you did.
To Mark, it's a little girl with a flower, so who knows?
I am going to need you to
So
roll.
pretty. Do you need more flowers? I have some here.
I'm going to need you to roll
D6.
a d6.
Yep.
Okey-dokey.
On a 1, it's my choice. On a 2, it's you. Then on a 3, it's a dog.
Okay.
On a 4, it's a dog. On a 5, it's the creature. And then on a 6, it's another dog.
Yeah.
Just because those are the nearest things to it.
The 4.
4. Okay, so it goes.
Is that the thing?
What? You got a 4?
Oh shit. Cool.
Hey,
It was a 4.
it's a start.
Oh, good.
That's good. That's what we wanted.
So you go, get the creature. And it goes.
Anything for puppy face.
It runs, jumps, and the creature is just looking at Baltic, getting ready to come closer to smash, and then the creature leaps across and starts sucking on it, like giving it a hickey. But because it has these razor sharp teeth, you get to roll for its bite attack.
Nice.
What is that in?
Go ahead and roll the bite attack. Yours is a
You can have added in your extras as a summoned creature, an imp.
Okay.
Cool.
yes. You've got an imp, which means that it
I know.
it has
You do it.
Yeah.
a poisonous bite. All
Or something
right,
you
melee
can
weapon attack
memorize.
plus 5 to hit, reach of 5 feet.
Okay, what dice am I rolling?
A d20 to attack.
Oh, nice.
Yep. And then 1d4
You can
plus
do it,
3
Lisa.
for the damage.
22.
Ooh.
22, that is a hit. Manages to really get in there.
Get that nipple. Yeah.
Super easy.
It's
I didn't hear the
D&D
keyboard
Beyond
though, did
so
I?
intuitive.
it's great.
Makes a lot less sense, but to say to get the
Thanks,
nipple and not hear what it
D&D
said.
Beyond.
yes. Yes, you're kind of crazy.
Sorry, I still don't know what I'm rolling for the actual damage, though. It's a
This is an imp.
D-
It has
okay,
the imp
the
stat
D4.
lines. So a d4 plus 3 of piercing damage.
7.
7 piercing damage. Hot dang. Alright. So, bam, 5. Awesome. It has to do a DC 11 Constitution saving throw. It rolled a 17, so it is going to pass as this creature's like infernal, like black magic teeth kind of bite in.
Nice.
It's like, unfortunately, it's sucking the neck of its own kind, so it doesn't really get that additional effect and it wears it off. Awesome, but that was your demon, which has gotten the bite off. Great. Then it goes from Zoralia to Tink.
All right, Tink.
Yeah.
Been planning hard. What you doing?
I am gonna say sorry, Andy, for killing your dogs. And then
My what?
for your dogs, and then
What are you?
What you doing?
and then I'm doing chromatic orb.
Awesome.
What does it like from just looking at the creature? What does it seem like would be the best to attack it with?
That's going to take
If I
some kind
can
of
do, like, a
nature
free-
check.
Yeah. Cool.
Could I lend her aid?
Oh, because he's actually
Oh no,
out,
because
like-
I'm
yeah.
no, because we can't really talk right now.
yeah.
So.
In the thick of battle,
Go for it.
you're
Alright,
looking
roll.
at this creature.
Natural 20!
Nice.
Yes!
You can only pick elemental stuff, right? You can't actually get radiant damage.
1 second.
Can you get radiant damage?
No, it's just elemental.
Duh!
It's thunder, lightning, acid, fire, cold, and yeah.
You know not
Poison.
to use fire.
Fire, ice, lightning, poison, and thunder.
Unfortunately, radiant damage would have done the trick. You understand that
At
some
least
kind
I
of
know that
divine
now.
energy would take this thing down. You don't
Just
have
tell us.
access to
Yeah.
it, but you know definitely not to use fire on this creature.
Okay, cool. Then I'm going to do ice damage.
All right, great.
And yeah, and I'm gonna like scream it out as a free action. If anyone has radiant damage, use it against it.
Awesome. Go ahead, roll your attack.
I don't think the Golgari druid has that.
18
Plus-
plus 5.
That is a hit.
So good. Take
Dang.
that, baby, so good. And then
Chonker's
we don't
toe.
want you to think we're amazing. I mean, we are, but
and then 22. 22.
Oh, nice. The dice are right on
Yeah.
there.
I've got
Oh,
them right
cool.
on here on D&D Beyond.
That's so much easier.
Cool.
So what is that? Oh, that's so
24.
cool.
Yeah. I got a 24 for that.
Oh, okay. So 2 more.
That is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then go.
Yeah, you kind of launch this crackling bolt of elemental energy. It flies in, smashes against it, and it just crackles, shatters off bits of its skin, frostbitten and flash frozen, tumble to the ground as like this puff of snowflakes scatter around it and melt into this fine mist and dew in an instant. Why did you say you were going to kill his dogs?
Because I accidentally helped in the I aided
Gotcha.
in the killing of his dogs.
All right, that was just your action. You've still got movement.
Yep.
You still got a bonus.
So
What's up?
for my movement, I am going to. Is that corner not actually covered in spikes?
It is safe to assume that the entirety of the walls, the
complete,
perimeter,
okay.
is covered in different implements of torture
Nice.
and pain.
Within a 1 mile radius.
I am going
Actually,
to. I'm gonna with half my movement get over to Andy,
Oh, hello.
and then I'm gonna kind of see if I can.
When did you
move
get here?
Andy in any way?
You cannot.
I grab onto. Oh, I'm gonna hold onto his hand at least, just to calm him down.
Okay.
Because he's freaking out, and then if he tries to move away from me, then possibly try
Give me
and
the guide
touch
dog.
him. Yeah.
Nice.
Gotcha.
You
All
love
right.
restraining me, don't you?
Yes. All right. Tink, it goes from you to Andavarius. Andavarius, you see this little girl in this bright meadow in this red little cape and a little basket full of cookies. La, 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 la,
Where are we going?
Picks up a flower.
Tim!
Oh,
Mister, look out!
for what?
And the big bad wolf bites your hand and starts tugging you, pulling you behind. What are you going to do?
No, I'm gonna whack it with my shillelagh mushroom stock.
All right. Hi-ya! Go ahead, roll an attack roll.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, I know. It will hurt more.
You
just
forced my
because-
hand.
I
It
hurts
know,
more
I understand
emotionally.
completely. It hurts more emotionally.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So I can't see any of my surroundings, eh?
Not right now. It's all kind of a bonkers hallucination.
Okay.
You know what? How about this? In the same way, but you failed the intelligence saving throw, getting to roll twice. How about this? I know how I'm going to play this. You can get a second roll if you want, but it can make things better, or it can actually make things worse.
Can I-
So you can do an investigation roll DC 15, which is
He-
intelligence based
he
to try to
can't-
see through the illusion.
Okay.
If you succeed, great. You actually wouldn't attack, but if you roll lower, it's not just going to be, I boop her with my staff.
Okay.
I'm going to get access to some of your bigger stuff and I'll use it.
There's
He
that.
can't- oh.
How is this affecting my
try that?
concentration on the
You
mouse
can't hear me,
dogs?
can you?
You can't even perceive the moss dogs in your hallucination.
Cool.
It's a concentration spell?
Yeah.
Boo. Okay.
They were gone.
So, a dog bites your hand, you go, ah! And the rest of the moss dogs just, they rot, flash in a heartbeat as they just mold and disappear into black, stinky,
even have a
like compost-smelling sludge on the ground. Crap. Uh-oh. So, those are.
Alright, I'll try that save.
Yeah.
But try to shake myself awake, I guess. I'm gonna roll that inspiration.
Great.
Alright, that is an 18 plus.
Okay. With the 18 plus, you have this dog bite your hand and start like try to pull you away. As you reach up to smash it, you can see little Tink going, Andy, Andy, and you're in the arena. You don't. Yeah, you didn't realize it until a second ago. Your sense of smell. You were in a meadow. I think you've become nose blind to what Rakdos territory smells like. This iron coppery like stink just crawls like a living thing down your throat. It kind of like makes you gag. It is horrendous in here.
I will just look at that creature with hate in my eyes now for what he almost tried to make me do to Tink. And I will charge him, shield out, staff, try to do my attack on him instead.
Awesome. I'm going to have you very quickly roll a passive perception roll. Or, no, it wouldn't be a passive perception roll. I'm just going to have you do a perception roll for me, please.
Okay. That's pretty good. Excuse perception. That is a 24.
With a 24, you are able to see the black, green, brown sludge pile of compost that has a bunch of razor wire dripped in the square that you were about to move into. You know to go around it. Before you step on it and then get it tangled around your ankles, your calves, that would have been real bad.
Yeah.
But you see it, you avoid it, you get into close combat, and boom, you see the true enemy. Go ahead and fight.
Attack. That is, I believe that's a 16. Yeah, 16.
Okay, a 16 is not going to hit this creature.
Then bonus action, I'm going to use the Polar Mastery to try to hit it again with the other side of the staff.
You thwack it on the shoulder, and as it rebounds off of the thick meat, goes towards its face.
Nice.
Nope.
All right. Andy, you got both of your attacks in. Is that your turn?
That's my turn.
Then it goes... No, dogs are gone. Balticson Stalker. You're up.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
Can I do a performance to make this thing think that I'm seeing something that I'm really not, so it stops trying to get into my head?
I'm going to
is
first
it-
have you do a history roll.
Okay. Do I know of this thing from my battles? Would that lend me any?
That's literally what I'm having you roll for.
Okay.
A history roll to see if you can tell this creature's abilities.
18 plus 17.
17.
You know that it can tell
plus.
what things within its aura are holding on to their minds. So you know that dancing around like, ooh, I like chicken, is not going to fool it.
Fair enough.
In the same way that someone who casts Zone of Truth knows who has resisted the spell.
Cool. In that case, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use 5 feet worth of my movement.
Okay.
Just going to back up towards this kind of great thing here in case I got to charge or do something. And then I'm going to actually hold my action.
Okay.
So when it starts coming towards me, I want to start coming towards it. And I want to meet it dead center, and I want to come at this thing with my action surge, my attack, both my...
Unfortunately,
or is it
Chris,
just
I'm
one
just going to let
thing?
you know
Yeah.
it's literally one action. So
Okay.
if you want to have that huge turn, I suggest getting in there.
No.
Because you know how we can tell people who are out of the trance? It now knows that Andivarius. It looks like it's looking at him. So as you back off, you know it's probably not going to move towards you. You can see that plain as day.
All right, in that case, change of plan.
Yeah.
Can I use my intimidation and or performance in order to invoke it to come towards me like I'd spoken about previously?
Yes.
Then I'm going to do that. Okay.
It's a relatively high DC, but...
6. Oh, no, give me 8, so...
And
What is that?
I'm going to do Ben Luck's reaction for him.
Would I give him aid actually, because I stood beside him and both of us are unaffected, so he might want to come in our direction a little bit more?
When I see Baltic doing it, I'm going to do Ben Luck.
You know what? Yeah, the two of you guys are standing on the one side of the arena. He's the one who's gotten the javelins into it.
Thank you.
Actually, if you're going to help him enough to, like, 2 strength, then I shouldn't even bother.
24.
Oh,
With a wow. Okay, with a 24,
Nice.
Andavarius, you get up and go, and it goes. It's looking at you like the gold eyes burning that much more yellow, and
I
you
tried to avoid the gaze.
you have to stare away from it. And
gonna
it has a beak. It doesn't have lips, and yet the skin just seems to infinitely retreat and expose more and more teeth, and it keeps going and keeps going, but it never like leaves the boundaries of its face. So it's just like grinning infinitely
As I
at
see
you.
it looking at Andy, I'm going to start slamming on the table in front of me.
As you
And my
start
wings are
slamming,
going
and
to
it just-
spread with the spikes and the javelins, and my big axe is going to come out, and I'm going to go...
it looks towards you, and just you can see.
I'm going to see if I can get the audience to go...
As you start slamming, the audience is like, "Get him! Get him! Kill him! Kill him! Yeah!"
And now I'm going to back up my 5 feet, swing my axe around, give him a little look, and kind of just wait. And I'll just have one attack ready, or one action, whatever you'll allow.
Concerningly, or maybe not, take it as you will. There are a couple people in the crowd going, "Baltic, Baltic, Sin Stalker, the Sin Stalker back in the ring." Good. People know your name here, and they're cheering for you.
It's weird.
But this
I'll take it.
creature
I don't care.
takes one of its nails after it gets hit by a stick and just puts its finger and pushes the spear of your javelin a little bit deeper.
Nice.
All right, you've got its attention. It's coming closer.
All right.
That is Baltic, and you're holding your action.
Yes.
For
so
when it comes closer
now,
to
do I get
do an
to,
attack action.
Yeah. So my question, actually, this is totally up to you. I do get to have an action surge if I wish. Can I use the action surge or a bonus or anything else while holding an action? This might not come into play right now, but it might later.
I'm going to say no. I
Okay, fair
do
enough.
believe that while it does not actually consume an action, it does say that on your turn.
Perfect.
So in the space of a reaction time, I don't think you'll be able to pull it off.
Can I use my bonus while I'm here, just to speak?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I? Who's next in initiative?
That's going to be the... Nope, not the dogs. That's going to be the creature.
Okay.
And then after that, it's...
Never mind. I will wait. Go ahead.
Okay. So, goes from Baltic to the creature itself.
Con save.
Its turn... Oh, yeah. God. All of you? Why don't you all do an intelligence save? I've got saves for you guys, too.
All right.
Shite.
It fails the con save again. It got a 3 plus 6, but...
16.
Yes, 16
Okay,
passes.
cool.
DC 15.
It's 11
okay, cool.
necrotic.
God damn, 17.
Yeah, I think my spores just got to level up or something. they're doing pretty good.
16.
You're good.
For an intelligence?
Intelligence saving throw.
Did I have to do the key rune again? I did.
What's that? Oh, yeah.
5.
Ooh. Hey, it's still doing a good job.
The DC's 15.
5.
It's a 3.
I stare right in his eyes.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna avoid its eyes. You look at the ground, and its face is there with golden eyes. You're like, that's not good. Oh, no.
Oh, and I go down.
14.
No.
I know, and then you told me what the thing was, so I couldn't do like a bend luck or anything. I was like, I'm not gonna do it.
Oh, you just failed. All right. So it is the Sire of Insanity's turn. It has the little key rune devil right in front of it. It wants to move forward here. God damn. It really wants to move forward. But it's going to take some attacks. So here's what it's going to do as its action. Again, just like the creature is kind of pulling on the magics of the blood crypt itself, it does it again. You guys can see that some of the torture implements on the wall start to jingle, jangle. They start to lift like they're being pulled magnetically toward the thing, and you start to see that they aren't just scratches from use on these things. There are small runes carved into it all as all of the chains and the hooks start pulling towards it. It is going to... I don't want to tell you. I can't... I'm going to show you what it is when it comes into effect.
Okay.
But I will not... I can't have you guys meta-knowledge it.
No, it's okay.
But it kind of draws itself in, kind of its veins bulge out through the scales on its hide even, and it just it starts stomping off to the side. So as a large creature, it's going to use 10 feet of movement, i.e. difficult terrain, to move into this square to avoid that creature. And Avarius, you get to make an opportunity attack against it.
I can see it.
Um,
I'm in a meadow right now.
No, your new
Oh,
hallucination
no, it's fine.
is that there are a bunch of mosquitoes around you, and you're just kind of like, swatting the mosquitoes, and these are really bad mosquitoes because they have macaroni noodles for heads. So that's a real big, like, suction
Get out of here,
of
macaroni
blood.
mosquito!
So what do you do as you're surrounded by macaroni-headed mosquitoes?
How many?
There's like a cloud of them,
Well,
and some of them are getting into your mouth. You can like,
Oh, like
eat
Batman
the
in the
macaroni
Batcave?
mosquitoes.
Yeah. I don't really have an action. It's not my turn. So
Okay, so you let it go.
Also, I'm not going to attack when I hold. I'm going to actually, if he's within 5 feet of Zorelia, I'm going to grapple, I think, instead of attack. But I am still going to meet him in the middle, just so you know. I just don't want to
awesome.
get called out on
So-
now, if the mosquitoes were getting away from me, that's a different story.
Yeah, it's
No, so, Antivarius, you are just like, stop it. You're not even swatting them, just, no, macaroni mosquito, no.
Yeah.
All right. This thing steps here, moves over there,
I already
and
used
it
my
starts
reaction.
to step aside. It goes right up
Okay.
next to Zorelia. Your devil is having its own kind of ball trippery. Is it going to try, in whatever hallucination is going on in its head, try to swing at this thing? Because I'll just have you effectively toss a coin. I'll have you roll a d4. On a 1-2, it doesn't. On a 3-4, it would.
Like, it would attack it?
Opportunity attack.
Well, I have a question.
Yeah.
As it comes towards me and I wanted to meet it in the middle of its direction, would it be...
So you want it to stop there?
So,
or right there?
Yeah, so it
Doesn't
moves
have
about
to fit
halfway,
yet.
and I would essentially move through friendly territory to Zorelia and try to essentially get it here, if that's possible. Basically, when I see it
So
moving...
it would stop there then?
Whatever.
Or
I just said I wanted to
you
meet
can't
it
occupy this.
halfway.
Yeah.
So whatever you would consider halfway of its movement, I just kind of want to meet it in the middle.
Awesome. Yeah, it's going to get caught up there as it tries
Okay.
to, like, move around that chair and push it aside, sneak around the devil. It starts getting closer. You run up next
Yeah.
to it. Would the... it actually...
roll a 4.
Okay. You roll a 4. You can opportunity attack it as the devil is like, chocolate, my favorite flavor. And it has like this,
Oh,
all
no.
these spines on its tongue as it licks. It doesn't do anything.
That's a nat 1. So that's something.
This thing goes to lick its feet, and it like gets down on its hands and knees and goes as it like stomps on its head. That'll be an attack. Okay, that's an 18 plus 5. That's 23 to hit the imp. The imp has 10 HP. This thing does 2d10 plus 5.
Stupid imp.
That is 2 plus 6. That's 8 plus 5. That's 13 damage. I believe the imp has popped.
Stupid imp.
And I'm okay.
You're okay?
Yeah,
That's
I
good.
don't.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't get to roll like
Yeah.
Oh, but you're
my
good.
bardic inspiration. I literally just need one.
All right,
And I got a
so
7.
Everything's popping.
the imp has popped as it goes to slurp up the delicious chocolate-flavored something, and
Yes.
it's right in the path as the stumpy tree trunk-sized foot like clomps down on it.
Now, I did hold an action. So as he
That's
starts
right.
getting closer,
Mhm.
I
You
am
start running to grab it. What are you going to do?
going to say, grovel.
The word,
You
the
cast?
command word. That's
Yeah.
right. Awesome. So it starts walking across. Baltic sees it advancing. He runs around the backside, but as he's getting towards it, you just grovel.
Oh, he can still hit it.
Yeah, for sure. But your
If-
making it grovel will actually help him do that.
Yeah.
What
So
is
that
the
prone.
save of
15.
And it's wisdom?
Yeah.
Okay.
But doesn't it activate on its next turn?
Oh, on its turn, it tries to obey the command.
Yeah.
On its next turn, yeah.
But that would be its turn right now.
Well,
These
it's
are just
at the,
reactions,
end
so
of
it would
its,
be.
at the end of its turn.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Okay. So can I grapple it then if I...
You can still try.
Turn
It,
goes prone and
what is
then
your
ends-
DC?
or
Because
no,
it
then
got a 13.
Ends its turn.
Oh, it's
It ends its turn. It says the target falls prone and then ends its turn.
On
Oh,
its
so-
next turn?
No, so when she
That's
commands it,
just
the
what it
turn it's
says.
on would be when she
End
issues
it.
the command.
It follows
would,
the command on its next turn.
that's perfect. And then 15 for your save.
But I would say that because you have readied the action, it would trigger for the remainder
Right,
of
because
this
she
turn.
actually initiated
Okay.
that
All
action
right.
before this turn started, so that is its
Cool.
next turn.
Just want to make it clear.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. This thing comes around, stomps on your demon without even paying any attention before it gets in close. And just... And it gets... It barely has knees. Its legs are so chubby, so it like... it like falls with its belly kind of on the ground, and it puts its arms out and lowers its head, the antlers kind of sticking into the sand as it grovels before the queen of devils. And now that it's prostrate on the ground,
Just accept all the applause.
Stare down at Hugh.
it's prostrate on the ground. What do you go to do as you run towards it?
How long does that last? Because that matters.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter.
Well, it falls on its next turn.
It straight up ends its turn.
Yeah.
Ends its turn, so that would be
It
its.
ends its turn.
Oh!
No, just-
And then is
So
it
I
when
can't do
someone
any of my
attacks
nihilistic
it?
glee nonsense.
I'm
I
going to
can't-
grab it and see if I can grapple this thing.
one round.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
So-
you run in, try to
I'm
get
gonna
it
see if I
around
can grapple it.
the antlers to hold its head down. To
Actually, that's not quite what I want to do with
Oh,
it.
okay.
Because I have my
What's up?
movement and a grapple. I actually want to continue my movement a little bit if you'll allow it.
Unfortunately,
No, it's okay. It's
ready
okay.
actions just
That's
don't
okay.
quite
That's
work
okay.
that way.
I will grab it and I will get ready for my next thing. So, how does this grapple work? Is it if it's
Athletics.
prone, would it be advantage on my end? Or how is that?
I'm going to. It being prone doesn't actually affect
Or
a
groveling, I
grapple.
guess, rather.
I
Sorry.
would say that because she has it prostrate and like vulnerable,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that she's effectively giving
Like
you
8? Okay.
It has to roll though. It is a chonky creature. You're gonna have to
15. That's okay.
13. That's a 21. You gotta beat.
22, 23, 24. Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
all right. You
Plus
get
8,
up
baby.
to it. Wrap an arm around either side of its like antlers. Just plant your feet on either side of its face as it's holding down. Just hold it to the ground.
Next turn, I'm dragging this.
Locked with its face down towards the ground. Awesome. That was your ready action. That was your ready action. It is groveling. Its turn is done. You can, as you do this, you hear someone go,
I make money either way.
and Nyasser, the Viashino, steps out of his seat to the edge of the arena, and Judith goes, "Must you? Really? Must you?" And Hewitt goes, "Hold on. Let's see where he's going with this." Nyasser is going to use an ability called Skull Rend, and you can see by the flavor text of this card, it's actually spoken by Nyasser, the Gorehouse ringleader.
Nice.
So
We could never
cute.
accept anyone with a face that pretty or a mind that sane.
Oh.
It is going to, he is going to look at the group,
Let's make this more interesting.
and those chains that are being drawn towards it, all of a sudden, they start swinging around. Each one of you guys is going to get cracked by one of these things unless you do a dexterity saving throw. So, dexterity saving throw, DC 14.
I'm in a meadow, surrounded by macaroni.
Everyone look, I got an 18.
Mosquitoes.
A floating cookie fly comes towards your mouth too, and you're like, cookie better than macaroni.
This is a wonderful place.
You got some more scars, Andy.
Huh? I can't hear you.
God.
Cool. Awesome. So you have effectively failed. It's
Yeah.
Could I roll for luck? Maybe I duck in time.
You know what? It's a hallucination. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have you roll, but just at disadvantage. So roll at disadvantage. The dexterity saving throw, DC 14. How'd you do?
17.
Good. Yeah, you're not affected by it. You see these things moving towards the creature, and then suddenly start to jangle and swing towards you. You kind of jump up, dodge underneath one, and over top of another, right in the middle, and land. What'd you get, Baltic?
18 plus whatever. But
18. You're wrapped onto its antlers. You see them coming away, and you just you move its antlers into the path, and then just you use it like cover against them as they kind of ting off.
Horn shield! Horn shield!
What'd you get? Oh,
I got-
you're hallucinating too, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I didn't have I didn't roll my bardic inspiration. I literally had to get one to like not be hallucinating. So is that? Oh no.
You have to
You
roll
have
it
to
before,
choose
right?
to-
That's why you were saying that you couldn't bend luck either.
you have to choose to. Yeah, you
So
can't
dis-
hold it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. You
okay.
can still roll at disadvantage though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
19
no,
plus-
5.
Okay.
Oh, you got 5. Never
I
mind.
got a 6.
With a 5, you are sitting in a little school, and there are a whole bunch of hamsters in suits, and they're going,
Let us hear your proposal.
and you go, all right, it is
Hamster school.
a skull that you can swap out for your own skull when your old skull gets worn out. And you start pulling it through your face, and it feels horrendous because you guys see her just walk towards the wall with the chains, and they just starts splitting her cheeks, sticking into the meat of the forearm, ripping away. So you guys have each failed?
Yeah.
Yeah, you failed as well? Okay. So it's 2 damage each, which is actually amounting to 2d4 each. So, okay.
So did I get pulled back to the wall there?
No, these are just slicing, doing damage, smacking against you.
I thought it was like
And
straightening us to the
various.
wall.
You are taking 10 piercing, slashing, bludgeoning damage. I'm not sure if you're resistant to any of those types. Okay, well, you take 10, and Tink, you take 10. It's the same one. I got a 3 and a 2, 3 and a 2. And then the plus. Okay, not only that, but you two, because you have both failed, each of you is going to lose a spell slot. Now,
Which spell slot?
you have level 1, 2, and 3 spell slots, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Roll a d6, which is going to amount to a d3.
D3.
On a 1-2,
Oh.
you lose a level 1
D6,
spell.
D6.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Level 3.
That's a 2. I lose a second level spell.
Okay.
Oh no, yeah, 2 is
One
a first level
level
spell.
You lose a first level spell, and
the third
third.
spell.
you lose a third level spell. All right, and as this happens, the crowd just, yeah, I like that. And some guy's like, yes, get with the odds. And he's just, sit back and just sit. And Yasser looks at him and just snaps, and some of the things just start ripping themselves off of the walls to escort the gentleman out. And he's just, I'm so sorry. so there's a whole bunch of shit going on. People are cheering back, forth. All right, that is the Sire's turn. Zoralia, you're up.
All right. So can I take some chains that are laid about here and try to tie this guy up?
Yes, although the chains are bolted into the wall.
Not the ones on the ground.
The ones on the ground. You mean the wire mesh that's next to Andavarius?
The chains that she pulled from the corner to drop over and make a net.
Yeah, the wire mesh is in like a heap to the right of Andavarius. So you can run over and grab that and throw it on him if you want to do that. Or if you
yeah.
have some other plan.
No, I'll do that.
Awesome.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, I'm going to need you to do a sleight of hand, just like it had to do a sleight of hand while grabbing onto these things. There are going to be degrees of success and failure to this.
Oh, you got this.
Since I'm
But
kind
the
of,
base DC is going to be 12.
if I'm steering him and kind of holding him and
13.
stuff, what I, oh nice.
With a +8.
With a +8, I was like, on a really good thing, you can like cast it like a perfect net. On a bad thing, you get caught. But it looks like you are able, with your gloves, to just kind of grab it in just the perfect ways, turn and kind of toss it so that it kind of flies out in a bit of a circle to land upon its back and cover almost its whole being. Great. So I'm going to have you roll an attack roll. And because it's groveling, you get advantage for it.
Sweet.
Nice.
Is this do I add anything to it or just a straight
Uh,
roll?
It's just going to be a straight roll. I don't think you rolled the sleight of hand high enough in order to get proficiency or bonuses to it.
So you would be here to grab it and put it over top of it. That's 5, 10, 12.
Not necessarily. It was right here. And then
Yes,
you
but
could
when
chuck it
she's
from
standing
there.
on it,
So,
she would be here. We have a
you-
plan.
Oh?
Yeah, so you grab a hold of the net, you manage to kind of pick it up, sweep it, throw it over top. It does land upon its back, but it doesn't wrap around its neck or around its actual limbs fully. It will have a minor effect, but it isn't completely wrapped around it, so it's not going to be devastating to its health, and it's not going to be nearly impossible for it to take off. But you have draped this thing in a cloak of barbed wire.
With
Well done.
15
Anything
feet
else?
of movement left, can you, if I yell to you, can you help me move this thing? If you hold the other 15 feet of movement on my turn to help me move this thing to that table?
Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds good.
Is that cool?
Yeah,
I'm like,
I'll do that.
Give me a hand!
Yeah.
Okay.
so
Awesome.
she's gonna have 15 feet of movement left. She's gonna hold that to help me on my turn. Since we're not doing
Perfection.
group initiative, we're trying to just figure it out in a way that makes sense.
All right, sounds good. Zoralia, is that the rest of your go? Cool goes to Tink.
I am. So, do I roll for anything?
Yeah, you can
I like
choose.
public speaking. There's so many hamsters.
You can choose to hallucinate, in which case the hallucinations are directed. You're going to do a small attack against an ally. Or you can roll to try to investigate the hallucinations. Now, if you succeed, you see through the illusion and you control your action. However,
So how do I
if
get
you
out
fail,
of the...
I get to pick what you use.
Oh, okay.
Its
so
turn.
it's So next time on its turn is when I can like try and get out of it, basically.
Correct.
Okay.
So you either take the median, which is somebody on your team gets hurt a little bit, or you go with the odds. Either it's good or it's bad.
I'm not too like. If you're in control of me, I'm very, very strong.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay,
I
we do.
won't. Yeah, I'll let the hallucinations go through, even though I'm terrified of hamsters, and just be like, "Oh no, the hamster's a bad hamster."
Yeah, as you
There's no good
replace
hamster.
your skull with a brand new, fresh skull, one of the hamsters goes, I bow out. You can invest if you want. I'm going to have no part of this. You take your old skull and throw it at the hamster. I'm going to have you do, what is a cantrip-based attack for you?
I have a firebolt or an acid splash,
Okay, we'll do
or
a...
lightning lure or shock and grasp if I go up to someone.
I'm going to have you do a lightning lure, and it's going to be on Baltic.
Oh god.
As you go ahead and whip him, so...
15 feet. Oh no, he's not within 15 feet of me. So you
he's
20 feet.
not!
it'll be antivarious.
Alright. Actually,
Unless
the
you hit me.
hallucination is going to make it so that the hamster that is walking away, that you throw the skull at, is actually going to be Zoralia. So you are going to pull her away, that way she can't help Baltic push this creature.
Oh yeah,
So,
she's 15.
What does she have to do? What is Lightning Lure do?
So you have to do a strength save. DC
The
of
creature doesn't know
those,
we're planning its metagaming.
and then you carry a massive lightning energy that strikes at one creature of your choice. You can see within 15
You
feet
did,
of you.
like,
The
yell to
target must
coordinate.
succeed or be pulled 10
Yeah, I
feet
said
in
give me a
straight line
hand.
towards you and take 1d.
And it's
1d8
groveling
of
right now.
lightning damage.
It is a whale.
If it then is within 5 feet of me.
Strength save of what?
13.
Okay.
You.
No.
Alright.
You didn't get it?
She has failed the strength saving throw, so she is
Then-
now getting pulled.
Yep.
The table's in the way, though.
You're getting
then
pulled
she
15
still gets
feet?
Pulled. 15. You get pulled
5.
10 feet,
10.
and then because she's in 5 feet of me, she gets 1d8 of lightning damage.
1d8 lightning damage. Go ahead and roll it up.
Oh yeah? If she ends up
7.
near you, she takes extra lightning damage?
If she's in within 5 feet of me.
Wow. Interesting.
Which, yeah, I don't understand exactly how that works. But, like, because it's obviously going to be within 5 feet of me if it's 15 feet away and then 10.
Don't worry, you're overthinking it.
Yeah.
I'll get
Awesome.
Next.
Alright,
7
so,
damage.
Tink, that is your go.
Oh.
Do you have any bonus actions?
If you do my my meta magic, you can quicken a spell.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna
Yeah,
quicken
do
it.
that. So you quicken a
Sorcery
spell.
points from me.
Yeah, you spend the sorcery points to quicken the spell using a bonus. You are
Do-
going to quicken just to cast a cantrip again because
Just
you
a
are doing it
cantrip?
at the lowest level.
Okay,
And this time it's going to be a firebolt
cool.
because I know it's a higher dice.
So,
And so you've spent the sorcery point.
oh no,
2.
it's 2 plus 5.
Okay.
So to hit, no.
You miss. However, I believe that since you used
A
quickening
firebolt
from your
feature.
mother's staff, you do actually have to roll on the wild magic search
Do it.
table. Do you
Oh,
not?
yes, I do.
Yep, I'm going to
Do
trigger
it.
that as well.
Ten.
Go ahead, Mark.
Alright.
You have to do
Oh,
1 0 and
sorry.
1 not 0. There you go.
I like controlling Tink.
So 21.
21. Well, let me tell you what you've won.
You're not meant to control My
Creatures have disadvantage on
Oh,
saving
I'm
throws
lost,
against the
sorry.
next spell you cast in the next minute that involves a saving throw.
15.
Wow.
What is it?
Okay,
There you go.
cool.
Sorry.
Creatures have disadvantage on saving throws against the next spell you cast in the next minute that involves a saving throw.
Very nice.
Okay, what? Sorry, what did you say again? Sorry, because
Disadvantage on saving throws.
disadvantage. Okay, cool.
Not
Not for you, the next thing that you target
Right.
is spell.
Okay, cool.
Alright, awesome. So, Tink, I believe that is your turn.
No, what did you want?
Actually, you have movement.
Yes, I do.
I am going to have you move along the wall.
Like scraping along the wall.
Correct. I'm going to have you move, and I didn't use these when you were
Does
hallucinating.
taking damage kind of knock you awake at all? Or?
Your senses themselves are affected.
Yeah.
What is pain to you in real life, you are hallucinating
As snacks.
being tickling. Oh! So
What is
you
it?
are running along this whole
Playground.
like it looks like there are a whole bunch of hamsters who are standing in the wings who put their little paws out and go, "Put her there, you toad him, that guy was terrible." So you're running along the wall, high-fiving
No.
all of these,
And
and
then just
one of them
slapping.
puts out his little cheeks for a kiss, and you
Aw.
kiss him, you hug one. And the whole time, you
Shredding
see
your
her
entire body.
lightning lure pulls Aurelia, throw a fireball, and then she just starts running, dragging her face along barbed wire and barbed chains along the wall. All right, so as you move your 5, and it's difficult terrain as you're dragging yourself, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Boom, you're now in the corner. You're going to take...
Oh, I only have 25 feet of movement. So I'll be back one.
Very well.
Thank
You
you.
reduce.
Thank you. I'm a small creature. I don't move very quickly.
That's going to be 8 points of slashing, piercing damage. Slashing or piercing. As you run along the wall. Great. That is Tink and Devarius. You're up.
What are you looking at? Alright, so I am lost in
You're
mosquito.
hallucinating as well?
No cookies now, right?
Well, you ate a cookie, and that was good. It
Good
tasted
cookie, a little
awesome.
strong.
Yeah. There's definitely like melted chocolate, a lot of chocolate pouring out of your mouth. You guys see it as blood, just like pouring out, and a tooth is like hanging off to the side. Yeah, so as you're looking around, you see that a loaf of banana bread is just hot out of the oven, and some stocky Italian baker is going,
Italians.
oh, whoops.
Wow, things are crazy.
A stocky, hairy, with black grease, with the belly out, kind of takes this pizza kind of planchette, pulls this steaming loaf of bread, and pulls it right next to over towards you, and goes, just puts a little bit of fire on it, and goes, "That's good enough for me. I gotta get out of here." So he just kind of starts going along, looking for other bits of ingredients along the
Is this
wall.
for me?
It's for you!
Thank you, kind Italian.
I never should have said it. It's hard to come up with nonsense on this one. So you go to take a big old bite. Now, your spores, they're little mushrooms. They need to eat as well. So you are going to count Zoralia as an enemy when she enters your 10-foot radius for your halo of spores. She has to do the con saving throw, and then you have to do a minor attack, unless you want to try to see through the illusion.
Well, I didn't have my reaction when she came in to see me, so they couldn't have done anything.
We've changed it, remember? You know how it's been stronger for you against your enemies this whole time? Now it's starting
Still
to
used up a
backfire.
reaction. But sure.
You did not use a reaction because you did not opportunity attack the creature as it left you.
The other time. Anyways.
Huh?
Alright, so you have to do a con save.
Okay.
Concept.
6.
Good.
Sweet.
7 necrotic damage too.
Alright. 7 necrotic damage, and that is just as you let the mushrooms kind of cover the loaf of bread, and they get to eat the crust and stuff like that. But you get the inside, the white, fluffy part.
Turn around, grab her head, and just try to take a big bite out of her.
Go ahead and roll an attack. As you get pulled
Please,
back,
Miguel.
hit with... Someone tries to hit you with fire, and now Endeavor is like a zombie is trying to bite your skull.
I've pulled the lovely loaf out of
Nope,
the
I rolled a 2.
My gosh!
Aurelia, let me a bite.
Yeah, so he goes to bite, and he just... as he's like chewing on a horn, you're like, yeah. So you have...
I was expecting this to go a little differently when... Oh, God.
You've used your reaction, you've used your
Zucchini bread.
action. Do you have a bonus that I can make use of?
There is the
Your staff!
Polar
You take
Master.
another bite, it tastes so good. It tastes so good. You dig deeper, the chunks of the bread off and start going for it. So, do another shillelagh attack? Or, no, do the quarterstaff attack, whatever the...
This shillelagh.
okay.
That is a 9 plus 6 for 15.
Wow.
Yeah. Because the
Getting
spores are
mad
dear.
live.
There's poisonous spores all over this staff as well as it's knocking you.
Looking pretty messed up.
You're hitting me again.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Oh,
She's gonna be
sorry,
dead.
I rolled the
That's
wrong thing. It's D4.
Anyone else got healing?
No.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
No.
It's going really far, really quick.
This one turn was quite bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 9.
If only that monster didn't have
No, I'm
metal.
dead.
9, 10, 11,
You-
12.
It's okay.
12 damage?
12 damage. And Zoralia, you're unconscious?
Yes.
Alright. The loaf has been eaten. All that's left are crumbs on the ground, and you're not going to eat off of the ground. But maybe you will. We'll
Spores
see. As Zoralia, he like pretty much chokes you out as he's gnawing on a horn until you see stars. It goes black. You're knocked out. You fall to the ground as he lets go of the pressure. Okay, Andavarius, you really want to go and give your compliments to the chef as he's looking through more ingredients on the wall.
Sure
You
it
want to
was
see what
delicious.
ingredients he's been using. You run and touch them as well, just so that it helps you remember. We're going to have you go 5, and then 10, 15, 20, 25. But you can't move the rest.
Speed's 30.
Yeah, but you weren't right next to the wall, so I didn't get an extra square of movement, and that's going to be 6 points of damage.
6 points of damage.
And that is Andavarius' turn, so then it goes from Andy to Baltic. You're up. You've got it grappled.
They're immortal. Nobody can kill a druid.
I don't know,
But
Calvin.
that, like,
You're not affected by the hallucination.
I know, but I have no idea what to do because it decided to go for the 2 people that were planning something, even though it didn't know anything, and now I don't know what to do, and now Zareli is dead, and my other 2 it's literally me against this thing and 2 of my friends, and I have no healing potions and nothing, so this is going really good.
If it's any consolation, you've already put 80 into
It's
it.
not. I'm going to just attack
Is it bloodied?
Yes.
Okay.
19 plus whatever hit.
Yes.
Okay.
19 plus whatever does hit.
14 plus 8 hit.
14 plus 8? Yeah. Yep.
19 plus 8.
Yes.
Okay.
How are you? Oh, you're action surging.
13 plus 8.
Just, yes.
No. Okay.
What?
So,
Just goes crazy.
yep.
Holy macatee.
God.
Sorry, 1 second. Attack. So, 1d8 plus 5, so plus 20. So we'll do 4 plus, so it's 8 plus 5. Can someone keep track of this for me?
Yeah. So
What are you doing though? What's your first
Okay.
attack?
Oh,
Are
it's
you using
D10,
maneuver
sorry.
or something?
okay, so 20 plus, and then roll a dice. And,
Say the same thing actually. So 8 plus 10, or 8 plus 5, sorry.
yep.
4 plus 5.
What's the D10 for?
6, my axe. 6 plus 5.
Yep.
And then I only have one of those left, so I don't get another one. 7 plus 5.
45 damage.
Ooh,
That's it?
What? Yeah.
45
Okay,
damage.
so 45 damage, and then in addition to that, needs to make a strength save.
Yeeshka. All right.
DC 16.
Is this cocked or not? It's like just barely touching the mouse.
If it's
push
good
it?
for us, it's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's-
I can't even
this-
see
yeah,
it.
it's
I
not
can't
good.
see it. It's up to you.
That's the.
It's up to you. I can't see
No,
it.
it's
Yeah,
not.
it's good.
Cool.
It
make,
passed.
Cool. Make another one.
Oh.
For all of the action.
No, that's a fail.
Cool. Make another one. This one's going to be a wisdom.
Okay.
DC 16 as well.
No, that's a 3.
Okay, so it is
That's
frightened of me.
bad.
It is wrapped up in the chains as it's being pushed back. I'm assuming, much like Andy's dogs that are being rolled around with it, it would have a similar effect with the chains, as we've kind of
Correct.
established that.
It is covered in barbed
Covered
wire.
in chains, barbed
pushed
wire.
against a wall of barbed wire.
So, would the wall of barbed wire and the barbed wire create any additional damage while it's being pushed and rolled around?
Correct.
Okay, and it is also frightened of me, so it cannot come near me or attack me. And then I'm going to use the remaining of my action because it can't do anything to me to move over here.
Did you push it
10,
this turn?
15, yes.
Oh, how far?
10 or
15?
15. 1 sec, I'll read up on the actual thing so I don't screw it up. Limited use.
Now, while it's grinding against the wall, it does count as difficult terrain, so it goes 5, 10, and then it's stuck in the corner. But it would hit against the back wall
Yeah, the
there,
back
which
wall,
is where
yeah.
the barbed wire net that Aurelia placed on its back is.
Yeah.
So I'll actually
It'd
count
be
that as an
15
additional
feet.
5 feet.
So I'm going to move over here towards Aurelia. Can I use a medicine check just to stabilize her or something? Or
No, that's an action.
I got you. Okay. In that case, I'm just going to be
So-
near her and ready.
You have it by the horns. Zoralia, you just see her get whipped back across the table. They turn on her completely. You just slamming its face into the ground, smashing it against the wall.
Didn't want to show my cards.
Yeah, kind of pushing them up against the wall, getting them all caught in the chain, throw them back before you turn, leap over the table, and land on the other side.
Yeah.
It's going to take... I'll have you roll... I'll have you roll the d4. So normally, it's a d4 per section that they are ground against, but because of the barbed wire net, we're going to add to that, so roll 2d4 and 2d4. So 44.
What is that? 3 plus 3, so 6.
Okay.
4d4 or 2d4?
4d4.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
so you can roll another 2.
Sorry. 1 and a 2, so 9. 9 total.
So altogether, his damage was 54.
Okay.
By the way, I didn't even try to get a save in against.
It hasn't started
hypnosis.
this
on
round.
my turn. I mean,
It's on its turn. I
Oh,
think.
it's on your turn.
Yeah, it's on
Okay.
its turn, which is
All
lucky
right.
because
This thing is nearly down.
All right.
Oh,
Jeez.
good.
Put 141 into it and you're 9 off.
All right.
So
It's about this time that I show you the thing that
That's
it
what I
did.
thought. Well, we're all gonna die, everybody. Here we go.
yeah.
RAVNICA was fun.
speak for
Bond
yourself.
of agony. The Rakdos are unique in designing torture equipment they can operate while suffering alongside their victims. So, that it doesn't work how okay. Actually, I'm gonna have to go with how I intended it rather than, so normally it takes a certain amount of damage, and then all of you guys take that much damage. I was treating it as a marked for death, so I was mistaken.
Oh.
Crap! That actually throws off my entire plan. It was
Oh, what's the
supposed to
difference?
reflect onto you guys the amount of damage you did to it this turn. I've misunderstood what Bond of Agony does, damn it!
Come on.
Oh, it should have spent its hit points to do each of you guys that many hit points.
Well, someone in the
But
stands
it's
can use
got
their hit
however
points.
many hit points.
Oh.
Why are you giving him ideas?
Oh.
What's wrong with
Should
you?
it? How many hit points does the
Not in his
Siren
head.
How many hit
Shit.
points does the Siren Society have?
9.
It's got only
If it's-
9.
Then it can give like 8 or something.
You know what?
Like if
Why
it's
not?
really, if you're
It's-
really gonna play that card, I think you should play
All
it with
right,
the creature.
you know what? It's gonna
Okay.
stick with it. It doesn't want to die. It's gonna stick on the edge of life as it's tangled up in the chains. It just looks up at the bunch of you guys together and just shakes in the chains. Its blood and ichor dripping onto them, and as it like leeches onto them, the energy courses around the side of the room, and it starts arcing out towards you guys. It's going to give up 8 HP. Each of you guys is going to take 8 HP worth of damage unless you pass a save. And this
As
is
he
going to be a
shakes.
Constitution.
Do all the little barbs poke into him and do him 1 damage?
Purely aesthetic. Him shaking was him taking the 8 damage. That's gross. So
I
he
got
did
it.
technically take
Okay.
I don't suppose a 12
I got
does
a
it.
dirty 20.
8. Okay, so you pass.
Am I at disadvantage? Are we?
For the hallucinating.
Oh, yeah, I'll
Yes. So once again, at disadvantage. I'm sorry. So you've
That's
got a
okay.
disadvantage. You are unconscious, so it's automatically.
Oh,
the
yeah,
DC?
I'm fine.
The
Completely
DC
fine.
on this is 13.
I'm completely fine.
Okay.
I'm good.
Oh no.
All right. And Avarius
8 damage.
takes another 8.
My
You-
spores, they drift down to the ground and just get swept away. And
And then, is it
Or
his go
breeze.
now?
It is going
So-
back around to its turn.
Do I now try and get out of the hallucination?
That's right. We're going to do that in a moment. What did you get? Did you beat a 13? For
No, I
the
got 12. No,
okay,
so I
so
would take
that's
8.
8 for you. 8 for you. You passed, and you. Even though you're unconscious, you can still make a con save. Yeah. So go ahead and roll the con save.
Alrighty.
There we go.
5.
All right. You take the 8 damage. That is. You are incapacitated. I believe only a melee attack counts as a crit and counts as 2 death saves. So I'm going to say you have 1 failed death saving throw.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe if they're using a melee attack within 5 feet, then it counts as a crit, which counts as 2 hits. This is just you taking some.
Oh, yeah, because you can't
Environmental
crit on
damage.
someone. Never mind. Okay, yeah, that makes
okay.
sense.
So that was it revealing what the action that it was taking before it started moving. So now it goes to the Sire's turn. Everyone's going to roll that intelligence saving throw, with the exception of you, of course. So
I'd say it's not going to be this time because it was too many times in a row so
I need
far.
a win here.
Natural 20!
Hey!
20.
I could use one of those.
I
2.
love me being a gnome and having advantage on that.
Nice.
Knew
So
it was
good.
coming.
That is
Knew it was
pretty
too
good.
good.
I love it.
Finally
it's
came in
it's
handy.
literally to save me from like things like this, where I'm like scared by a massive creature. That's literally what it is.
11. I am off on a journey. I am no longer in this fight. That's for sure.
Do I now have my actions back and stuff?
Yeah,
next
you are
turn.
fully in control of your turn.
Perfect.
I didn't.
Kind of glad I used all
Now-
my action surges and everything before
So-
I kind of went nuts.
Now,
Oh god,
So you are
It's not
hallucinating.
affecting me. 'cause
with a
I'm
natural 20,
unconscious.
with a natural 20, I'm going to say that you can try as best as you can through some way by either shocking someone or just grabbing them and
Yeah.
pleading as
Well,
little
I-
Tink to try to knock them back into reality. You can choose one of your allies
I'm gonna
to
do.
try and give advantage to them. You pick one.
Can I do my reaction as a bend luck as well?
It's
Turn
a
off?
reaction.
Yeah, it's a reaction.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm going to who. Oh, I don't know who did the best, do I?
No.
Then I'm gonna do but bend luck on you
Okay.
and 1d4, and you can add that to whatever you did.
Not enough.
No, 3. Then I'm going to be shaking Andy.
Okay. And Avarius,
I should shake the person.
Sorry.
you actually,
It's
No, you're right.
because
No, it's okay.
Mark, you've actually got advantage on this roll. Because some part of you is just hearing Tallulah as she comes to and sees Zoralia down and the demon in the corner staring over. You, having, bitten and bloodied Zoralia at your feet, she is screaming to try to knock you out. You have advantage on the roll
Nice.
because of her nat 20.
Cool. This better work. That is terribly cocked.
Okay.
That is also cocked. Suspense!
Come on, buddy.
I was just getting little flashes of reality in this. No. And it takes over again.
She screams to try to bring you back. And
Yep.
you hear,
One hit
my
point. You got it.
boy!
Yeah,
My
I know.
boy!
You can do it.
As your dad cheers you on, as you are growing the most beautiful garden and you're about to win the prize for the biggest mushroom.
Look at this one.
My boy! He's so proud. All right.
It's like between his legs. He's like,
It is now the Sire of Insanity's turn. It, from the corner of the arena, is going to, here we go,
I don't know.
sleight of hand to try to remove the barbed wire and barbed chains
And take
from itself.
no damage.
To try to take no damage. If it fails
Yeah.
and it even
One
Yeah.
takes one damage, it's
Exactly.
A
dead.
lot of pressure.
I think
to
that's
be doing
perfect though,
that.
because that card literally is like all
Yeah.
or nothing.
All right.
I think it fits its
It
personality.
is sitting
where it
in the
might be.
corner, taking its
It's
time,
the
just
Tavern.
putting these barbed chains that are tangled up in its horns off, taking the barbed stuff around itself. Sleight of
Take
hand.
up his action and stuff then.
It is going to take up an action.
Yeah, cool. That's good then.
No! It's a 2! It rolled a 2!
Yes!
It goes to pull this one bit off, but the the bit of barbed wire that it had wrapped around its finger that it was using as like a whip as it was crunching the wolves, it goes to pull this bit out and it pokes it in the eye and it goes and rips on the one side, and it's just flinching as it just tears itself these big rending gaps, and the more it spasms after it loses control of its muscles, the more it shreds itself more and more apart. You guys were hallucinating up to a second ago. Your dad goes, "My boy, I've never been so You're in the pit. You guys are returned to normal. The creature is dead. Zoralia, your turn.
Yeah.
Death saving throw.
Okay.
Just don't get a 1.
Yeah. So I'm laying there unconscious. My life is flashing before my eyes. I'm trying to remember all the good things that happened. My little friend at school that I had, and my new friends that I made, and that one little kiss that I tried to give Aunt Avarius.
I was like, it all hinges on this. You have a pass.
I'm instantly running over, seeing that she's down, and
Am I okay
just
now that it's gone?
hugging
Like, am I?
on
Yes,
to
you
her,
are not affected.
crying into her, and she's like, "Zoralia, come back, please
She's
come back."
fine. I'm gonna start looking
And
through her
then
stuff. Does she have a
medical
healing
stuff,
potion?
yeah.
Or does somebody have a healing potion?
I have a healing potion, so I'm gonna open her mouth gently and just start pouring it in, and see
Okay.
what I can do.
You
Medicine check,
go
you're saying?
and pull out a healing potion, and a member in the audience lifts up a paddle. They lift up this paddle that just has a Rakdos
Pause.
face on it.
What I know about this rule,
Yeah.
then that wouldn't happen, Calvin. Because I would know about this rule.
Okay.
I said, does she have a healing potion? And you're like, what I know about this?
Yeah, you know that the audience who get to watch the slaughter games, if they pay enough, they can actually adjust the rules of the game. In the same way that those watching the Carnarium or the races, the audience can shoot lightning at the track. They can do... It is an
Oh, so it's like
interactive
before.
experience.
Because at the races they had exactly the same thing where any healing done actually disadvantaged. So I would understand,
Yeah,
would I
it
understand
hurt
that
me.
too then.
What's that?
Would I understand that too then? Because I've experienced
You
it.
are about to... now, unless you...
We experienced this at the race.
Yeah.
I forgot
She's
about
seen this
that.
exact thing
Yeah.
happen.
All right. You should know that this person is not casting Rain of Gore.
Okay.
What it is this. The audience looking like this, as with the creature's death moans, they get out of their seats and look down over the railings, seeing you guys try to come to the aid, and not of just anyone. This happens to be Hewitt's daughter. Hewitt sitting back, eating little fruit out of a bowl, because he's not watching. But the rest of the crowd is looking over, and one of them sees you reach in, pull out a potion, and he goes and lifts it up. Now, I don't know if one of you guys has a reaction that you can try to use to throw a javelin at this guy and try to kill him or stop him or something.
Are we still in initiative order?
Yeah.
So who's next on initiative?
It's me and then it's Andy?
It would be Andavarius.
Yeah.
Anavarius?
Or my turn next? So I see this healing potion get ripped from her hand and then
No. She pulls it out, and the guy sees
it-
that and goes,
Is it a magic spell?
"What's that?"
Oh, is he trying to cast a magic spell on me?
No.
Okay.
He is effectively making it so that the healing potion does nothing. You pour a liquid down her throat, and it's just inert liquid.
Then I would
It does
do a
nothing.
medicine check then.
All right. Well, that's what he's gonna do. As
Yeah.
he looks at this and goes, "No, foul play," and lifts up the card.
over. We won.
And someone goes, "All right." Some bookie accepts it.
Nope. I don't know what I'm doing.
You go to pour the liquid down
Healing potion.
Zorelia's
What
throat,
normally works.
and the vibrant green leaches out of it until it turns to a water-like substance.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be crying then and just in her
Tick,
arms
tick.
and just crying.
Out of my way!
You're my best friend, please.
Didn't I
By the
say
way,
anything?
the way that slaughter games work,
Yeah.
this guy hasn't just nullified that potion. He's got deep pockets, and you can see that he's got like the Orzhov Guild symbol as he just flicks the card. If any of you have healing potions, they will be inert.
So I was one that suggested finding a healing potion, but I know that this happens. Right?
You don't know that this happens. This slaughter game's ability
Yeah.
allows them to pay enough to change one thing. But it can be any one thing.
Ah.
They could
Okay.
say, for example, like,
No, that's fair enough.
we
Good
think
enough.
healing word is cheating, so then no one can cast healing word.
Fair enough. Then I wouldn't know. Okay, good.
So on my turn, I rush up, give her some room, give her some space, and I'll. How did you get hurt? By the way, what's?
You were.
But, oh yeah, right. I was.
Like,
oh, what
chucking
happened to your
around.
face? Oh, that's terrible. I'll cover like her face with my hands and pulse some Golgari magic into it. Little spores and vines start to appear. Mushrooms start to mend what's damage has been done. An eyeball gets back in its socket.
What? You can do that? What are you
It's a
doing?
healing.
You have other healing?
Healing word.
You have
Yeah.
healing spells.
Damn it!
He's a healer.
Oh yeah!
He's
I
our
forgot.
healer.
Oh, so you go to pour the healing potion, someone goes, no, flicks the card up, registered, it does nothing, and the crowd just, yeah, some of them are like patting him on the shoulder, like a bunch of his work colleagues are like, they're patting him, and he's smugly looking like, yeah, I did that.
I'm
And
shooting
they're
him
like,
with a
you did
chromatic
it, buddy.
orb.
So that's a
You
third
try to
level
heal her,
healer.
and
No.
they laugh, and you're so close to the
You're not
wall
even on your turn yet.
that they're like spitting down onto the crowd, and that's when Andavarius steps in and actually goes, yeah, screw you. So what's some actual healing? Dang it!
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not very good rolls, but 8,
I should get a card off
11
the
hit
screen.
points.
11 hit points.
You get 11?
Yeah, I gave you 11 hit points.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Are we out of combat or still in initiative?
At this point, now that she has been brought out, initiative order has ended. You guys are standing near to one of the walls, and there is a trickle, a spitting of spit. As the people above are just, boo!
Boo
More
you.
magic! And then someone flashes a card. Someone's flashing a card from the other side, and the guys go, it's too late! Too late! Come on! You couldn't be quicker on the draw. The guy's like, yeah, what the hell? You wasn't looking! And so they were trying to interfere again, but there was so much chaos and tumult, and they were jeering. They didn't manage to cancel that.
And
out.
Avaris isn't even paying attention to it at all. He doesn't hear any of it. He's just concerned about Zoralia down on the ground. Just make sure, making eye contact with you, man. You alright?
You saved me. After you killed me.
I did that?
You ate me.
Were you that delicious loaf? You were. weren't
This Sire of Insanity, he's passed out, right?
He is
I did.
dead.
I'm gonna do what I was gonna do anyways, since the game, not the game, but since this round is over, we're out of initiative. I'm just gonna grab him and drag him onto the table, and I'm gonna strap his neck to the arm thing, because his neck is probably so big. I'm gonna tie them together, and then I'm gonna put the leg one around one of his legs, and I'm just gonna start cranking while I look up at the audience.
You
Oh yeah.
pull its body, and you like push its belly upon your back, and the barbed wire is like split it, so it like falls to either side. You're like draped in it as you pull it, thump it, and you're like covered in this black goo as you just you start cranking. The audience is just.
And I'm gonna pull off my horn. So I start cranking.
This carrion note.
My instrument is a horn, and because I have horns, I'm just saying I lost one in battle,
Nice.
and I replace it with a synthetic one that I can use as my instrument as well.
Whatever noise the audience would make, whether they're cheering you on or
Or spitting or booing or whatever.
you hear nothing as you just this clarion note fills the chamber as you just one-handed keep it going until it just these snaps that you can see rather than hear before the skin stretches, a little hole appears, and then the skin gives out, and it just the head launches to the other side, sticks onto the spikes against the wall.
Just imagine a blood explosion.
Stand up on the bloody table, body just goo everywhere, sloshing in my feet as I'm gonna look up at her dad and just point.
You stop blowing the note, and people are going, Baltic, at it again. Oh, yeah, boo, yeah. Some people are cheering, some booing, some people are exchanging money, happy for one reason or for another. They're busy with each other. But all of a sudden, as you guys are standing up, there is Hewitt kind of leaning with his elbows on the railing, and he goes, come back next week, everyone, for Baltic's encore performance of him fighting that same sire. Round 2. You're beginning to bore me. Let's get it on. He sits down. And the next creature is a little bit faster to deploy as you see a worker come from the tunnel with a jar and a creature inside of it.
I'm moving back
Mark.
behind Andy before that
You
Well,
move
happens.
back around
I-
behind Andy.
At this point, make sure she's alright.
Yeah, you
and
are.
standing her back, I would go, Tink, Baltic, do you require any healing at all?
Yes, please.
Are you alright? Oh,
Time is
boy.
of the
How?
essence.
Alright, can I tell how damaged you are?
Do you have more than like 11 hit points? Because I think that's
Oh,
all it
actually,
really has.
no, I forgot because I had like temporary. No, I'm good. I've only
You're
had like,
good?
a little bit. Yeah, I've only had like 4 hit points down, really.
Then,
I'm fine.
big guy.
I wasn't even hit.
I didn't even get hit. I don't know what happened.
In that case,
Oh, yeah.
Shillelagh again, symbiotic entity again, everything swirls around me. Round 2!
As he goes, round 2, chop chop. Round 2.
Okay, I'm
So
gonna
they-
do healing word to
I was
myself.
gonna say, you ain't looking
Oh,
at
you
me.
I'll
got,
level through,
yeah, that's
yeah.
right. And they didn't cancel healing word, so you still have it going into the next fight. Healing potions have been canceled, but healing word and cure wounds, I guess, is still up for this
Yeah.
next round.
Perfect.
That's clutch that they saw your potion come out before they canceled something like the use of a repeat spell.
Yeah.
Whew.
Alright,
Aurelia, you're looking a little bit healthier.
fine, we're all good.
You've been
Everybody
rescued
good?
By
Yeah.
Andy?
Is the Sire of Insanity being on this causing it to, like, if I was behind it, to be, like, cover
Yeah.
for me?
Yeah,
it is.
the
It
table's
is a
already covered.
huge body. Its belly is like opened up, but it's so large that you can be
I can have,
fully
like, full
obscured,
cover, yeah.
out of line of sight behind that thing.
Perfect.
Anybody else? You've got like 12 seconds tops
Yeah.
as some
So it's-
worker
Yeah.
runs up with an
Down.
enchanted jar on the other side of the portcullis.
Do I recognize the jar?
Yeah, it's the jar that holds a dread slag. Right now,
All
it's a
right.
small, crab-like arachnoid mixed creature.
What's the dread slag do again?
The dread slag feeds on your fears and phobias. The more open and susceptible you are to them, the more it feeds off of them psychically. It is not the kind of thing that you punch to death.
Yeah. As a, like, can I have an action readied? Or is
Yeah.
it not? Okay,
We have,
cool.
like, basically
Then
a
I'm gonna
round.
I'm gonna have chromatic orb at level 3 ready to hit it as soon as it comes into compound.
There it goes.
Before she builds up that magic energy, because if you ready a spell and then don't end up casting it, you end up using the spell slot. Baltic, you know that's not going to cut it here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
This is not the
gonna
thing
do
you fight with the sword.
anything. Okay.
This is like
Like,
your
no ice damage, no nothing, like...
it.
Or like
it
a
is
history maybe,
used
or-
in a very rare way, which is a bloodless fight.
Hmm.
But there is a reason they pull this thing out, despite the fact that viscera is not flung everywhere and it's not a gory mess. It is a mind-bending, torturous experience to be near this thing. It roots you in place and siphons the life out of you as you give in to your fears.
I'm gonna. This thing's 30 feet, right?
Yeah.
Can I climb this thing? If I have a full action to kind of prepare myself to get over top
You,
the door.
Baltic? No, that's a bad idea.
Okay.
You know that the same way...
Not to
that
get
the
out, just to
slaughter
be
gate-
over the gate. Like not to leave the arena, just to use other levels of it.
You'd be playing it close.
Like a wrestler just going up on the ropes.
You'd be,
Literally, yeah.
you'd be playing it real close, but yeah, you can try.
I'll try it.
All right.
I think if he's not sure, he'd probably just do it. Do I gotta roll like an athletics or something? or-
Athletics?
Okay.
So do I... Has Baltic explained to me a little bit about this creature and how, like, it's more of, like, you have to just defeat it in a mind battle, basically?
Yeah, it uses
Yeah,
your fears
he-
against
he-
you.
It...
Explained it before when you
I
guys
remember
were
last
first
time we did
passing through
explain
to
it.
get into the change room to go into
Chris
this arena.
just didn't remember because my memory's
Yeah,
garbage.
I just mean, like, so we have to let ourselves be taken by this creature.
You
in
generally
that-
have no choice.
Okay, cool. That's
the same
that
thing,
makes
you do
sense.
Steal your minds, everyone.
Perfect.
I rolled 4 and plus 8. I don't think a 12 is gonna cut it, or would it? I don't know what the criteria of this stuff is like. With
mean,
the spikes or anything, help me.
These
the
are
stones?
barbed chains, so the grip is fantastic.
Can I take like a D4 damage or something to like help me, or whatever you said?
Yeah, I would say that with you rolling a what?
4 plus 8, so 12.
12? That would be a d6.
D6? D6 it is.
Yeah, and
5.
at the various,
Piercing damage?
he looks at all those dead moss dogs. It's time to eat again. Puts his staff up, and they all just start growing out from where they died.
I
deleted all the
tokens.
Doesn't matter.
Oh no, they're actually
they're
not
coming
going to be
back.
part of the psychic battle. But
Yeah, 'cause
oh
like,
wait, are you
Well, he's doing
are you
it
hoping
anyways.
that they are magical moss dogs? Do they possess fears and phobias? Would they be immune to it and tear it apart while it's fighting you guys?
They would not be.
I guess fears would stem from.
Oh, but you summon actual wolves, so whatever a wolf is deathly afraid of.
Right.
We'll see if they survive. I'll remake those tokens.
Thank you.
squirrels.
Right. A whole bunch of wolves from that sludge. It just
Moss dog.
comes right back as if nothing had happened to them. Great. Australia. What are you up to?
I'm waiting.
Get behind me, Zoralia.
Stuff right here over the doorway.
Don't mind.
Okay.
Your dad, as he's leaning over the railing before he sits down, goes, "What a show! What a show!" And he'll sit back.
Chuck a dagger.
Now, the worker who's behind the portcullis goes, and just disappears as he just gets sucked into like a raisin-like version of himself,
Ooh.
falls to the ground, the glass jar rolls to the side, and this little crab creature lands on it, gets a little bit bigger, and then the portcullis starts to open.
Got a picture.
Here is the dread slag.
Well, that's hard to make out what that is.
In that case, I'll do this.
Ah!
1,000 phobias sopped from the city and wrung from Rixmadi as one.
Oh. 9.
This is the kind of thing that these people use for entertainment. And it happens day by day by day, but that's Ravnica for you.
Oh no.
Anyone got cards in their hands?
We'll come back in the next one to see what happens here. Thank you
Come
so
on.
much.
We can take him right now.
And just before, sorry, I want to cast, I want to have a magic mouth ready for me. Just
Okay.
before, because I didn't use my action and, to get ready. I want it just to be a calming, reminding Tink who she is, that you're okay, that this is just a bad creature, that nothing is real. And that's it. I just thought it would be a nicer
Support
thing.
mouth?
Pick that up next time,
Yeah,
I guess.
exactly. I thought that'd be a nicer thing to end it.
You know what? That's actually
And
kind
it-
of sweet.
And it will only start once she is affected by that creature.
Fantastic.
Nice.
Can
You
I take one
guys-
of those musk dogs and just cuddle it?
These guys, the cheering has immediately died down as they sit back. A lot of them are not standing at the railing, but they're sitting at the edge of their seats looking down, going, shh, 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 we gotta hear what it says. Oh, you have to listen. That's the part of it. And they're starting to hear in. They go, I want to know what that Baltic guy's about. He's in there every day. So people want to listen in, including even the jaded figures that are here talking to Hugh. Even Judith is like, this is a rare treat.
Ooh.
We'll pick up next time. Like and subscribe. Thanks so much, guys, for joining us. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.